Hey Herminators, as you all know the new expansion is coming, so me and some Legend players decided to do a full review on all the cards and what types of possibilities that has in certain decks. Before we start, I'm going to clarify the Discover effect, as some of you may not know what it does. The effect works sort of like tracking, where if you discover a minion, you can pick between 3 random minion cards from the collection that's not in your deck, only if it's a minion. However, if you discover a spell, you can pick between 3 random spells that is not in your deck in the currently played class collection. I hope this clarifies everything and hope you enjoy the review.
Yeah, welcome to the broadcast, everyone that's watching. We are going to be reviewing all the cards from the League of
Oh,
Explorers expansion. I've got here with me Hermes and Durabilicious, both legend ranked players and fantastic guys to hang around with. So you'll definitely want to listen to them. And let's begin. You guys want to introduce yourself at all?
okay, so I'm Hermes. I actually have a YouTube channel and I like to herminate the meta. Like I have a series called Herminating the Meta. Just to help you guys like to climb the ladder more efficiently and more effectively. So definitely check out my channel.
Cool.
Hermes TV. Hermes TV.
You
Yeah.
can link it in chat as well if you want.
Uh, okay.
Hermes TV. Oh,
Uh,
well, I guess it's my turn.
yeah,
Well, I'm Durabilicious. I don't have a YouTube channel, and I don't have anything. I think, yeah, don't have a Twitter
Yeah.
it doesn't
But
either.
doesn't have
Yeah.
shit.
Wait,
But he's a great player, so you guys
yeah,
definitely want to watch out for him in tournaments and things like that.
primarily tournament player, yeah.
yeah.
Usually do fairly well at them. Get to crush a lot of known players.
Yeah,
Some that were going to actually be in BlizzCon, and then
Mm-hmm.
fucking got crushed again. They just get crushed too much.
they just always
Yeah.
get crushed.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start this off pretty easily. Let's start off with the Jungle Moonkin. What do you guys think about the Jungle Moonkin? Both players have spell damage +2 when it's in play. It's not a battle cry or anything, it's all the time. What do you think?
Be very scary. Like, it
Yeah.
could backfire quite easily. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, I feel like it can backfire really easily. I actually don't think it's that good either. It can be removed easily too. The body isn't great for like a forward draw. And like even for adding it to your opponent, like your opponent can utilize this card like pretty effectively as well with all their spells too. So it can actually be pretty detrimental to you as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
I think the biggest note about it is that it's a beast, so it could actually come out of web spinner. So it's another very powerful card for Hunter.
And also people
That's true.
killing
That's true.
Hunter, yeah.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah,
That's true
it,
too.
it can come out of Web
Yeah.
Spinner, it can also come out of Ram Wrangler.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I guess like that can also screw you over too if someone's by
It,
Ram
it,
Wrangler.
it can.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we're gonna see many double Jungle Moonkins out of Ram Wrangler though. Okay, so yeah, that card I think we're all kind of not that sold on. We kind of think that in terms of a card value, it's okay. It's not hugely good. It's not hugely bad. It's kind of just like a middle of the range card. I think it could go well. It could backfire. You need to
Yeah.
build your deck entirely around it, right?
Like to be honest, this card actually makes like Moonfire actually viable. Like it makes it look like it's viable. Actually, not really, but it looks like it's maybe.
3 damage
Maybe.
Moonfire for
Yeah,
free.
yeah,
3 damage
yeah.
removal for free is not too bad. But remember, Druid also has some other really low cost spells like Living Roots and
Yeah, that's true.
Wrath. That makes Wrath actually deal 4
Yeah.
damage and draw a card, which is not bad. Really, it's
Yeah.
really not bad.
It's only 3 damage to draw a card.
Oh, 3 damage draw a
Like-
card. Yeah,
5 for... It can
yeah.
actually kill
Five
Belcher with
for the
that.
clear. Yeah, you could Belcher and clear a Belcher with that now, and
Like, if
and
you
your
really-
swipe also becomes huge.
Yeah, like if you really want to play this card, you have to compare it to like another 4-drop like Shredders. Would you replace it with Shredders? You probably won't, right? Because it's not sticky enough. And then if
Yeah.
you wanna, and then if you compare this to a Zerg Drake, it's not really that much better too, right? Because the
Correct.
Zerg Drake is not double-edged sword either. So yeah,
Same stats.
yeah, same stats.
Minus drawing a card.
Yeah,
Plus
but-
1 spell power.
Yeah, and drawing card is huge too for druids especially to draw into the combo pieces and removals at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably enough about Jungle Moonkin. We can move on unless anyone in chat has anything to say about it. I think we'll move on to the Mounted Raptor now. It's a 3/2 body for 3, which is not great. Not a great stat line. Usually you get a 2-drop that's a 3/2. For 2, yeah, but like as a 3-drop, that's not so good. But it's Death Rattle, summons a random 1-cost minion, so that kind of makes up for it a little bit. What do you guys think on this card?
I think this card is pretty powerful because then most of the 1-drops, like in the collection set, all the 1-drops is actually pretty good, and there's no really like crappy card that you can get. Like for a 2-drop, like you might get a Doomsayer, but for 1-drop, there's no card that are actually like that. So I actually think this card is pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Gerbil? Would you use this card in any deck?
I mean, it's a Harvest Golem, so
Yes.
yeah, it's pretty sick. It's also a beast, so it goes with more beast strategies. Like, it's looking like Druid's moving towards creature synergy, like possibly trying to pump each other up. It also could come out of Web Spinner, which is,
And the Ram
card.
Wrangler, yeah.
fun
That's
card.
some insane value
Yeah.
on Ram Wrangler, actually. It's pretty good.
But I really like the fact that you could get a 1-drop out of it. It makes it so like Token Druid, it's a really good playable card in Token Druid. Like Token Druid was already playing Harvest Golem, and it's just a better replacement for Harvest Golem.
Yes.
3 power versus D2
Yeah.
makes it insanely better.
Yeah, just a 3 attack alone makes a huge difference.
Oh, it
Like,
also
there's-
trades with
Shredder.
our favorite 4-drop. Yeah, Shredder.
It
Shredder,
does
yeah.
trade with Shredder quite well. Would you run this in a current Druid deck and sub it for any cards? Would you sub this for like a Shade, for instance?
No.
No. I
Shade's
think
like-
she's too strong. Yeah.
Yeah? You think it's too
Yeah.
strong? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same way I'm feeling. I think if you're going to do this, you'd need to sort of go for a beast strategy. I'm all with going for a beast strategy with this. There's a couple
Yeah.
of beast cards now with Druid, so it might be possible. We'll see how people use this, but yeah, honestly, I think it's a cool card. I'd like to see where it goes.
Yeah, I love Druid the Fang. Yeah, I'd like to see that like being played more because that card is pretty strong if you can pull it off.
Yep. And that brings us to our third Druid card. One of my favorites, the Raven Idol. A lot of people will bash on this card. It's easy to bash, and it's also easy to see the benefit to it as well. The Raven Idol. It's 1 cost, right? It's 1 cost, and it has the new keyword Discover. The new keyword Discover is actually a pretty cool keyword. What it will do is it'll pull a spell from your class that's not currently in your deck. So that's what the Discover spell means, right? And the Discover a minion means it'll pull any creature in the game that's not currently in your deck. It gives you 3 choices when it discovers. So if it goes Discover a spell, it'll show you 3 Druid spells that are not in your deck. Now there's some pretty powerful spells there, and that's what excites me the most. Like you could get some extra removal, you could get some extra pump ups. You could get a couple of things, like anything really. The removal's kind of the thing that I'm looking at. Yeah, Nourish.
Yeah,
When's
Nourish.
the last time you played Nourish?
Mulch.
Mulch
is
as well.
Yeah, another good card.
Yeah.
Naturalize.
And you get to
Yeah,
choose what you want. So you pick what you need at that
The
current
best-
point in time.
3 cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the minion as well. People would probably compare this to, say, Unstable Portal, which is a 2 mana cost, get any creature in the game at a reduced cost, right? This one doesn't reduce the cost, but it is cheaper to play.
Yeah, and you get to choose too, so you can
Yeah.
sort of control it.
Yeah, it's semi-controllable, so it's less RNG based, but there's still obviously some random acts of God in there. But I think it's cool. I think maybe it's a one-of in a Druid deck. If we're going to run a one-of deck, I probably wouldn't run 2 because I think it's like on its own it doesn't do much, right? And the cards that you're actually playing with it are going to be basically 1 extra cost. So like if you're getting a Shredder out of it, it's going to cost you 5 because you're costing the Raven Idol plus the Shredder. So it's like it basically makes the card cost 1 more, but at the same time lets you choose what you need for that particular moment in time.
I think it could be cool in a token strategy deck, like with Violet Teacher.
Yeah, Violet
You
Teachers.
just like
Yeah.
Goblin Auctioneer.
Yeah.
Like
That's
different cards.
definitely a viable strategy, I think.
Yeah, the continuous snowball with like gadgets and auctioneer is pretty sick too. Yeah,
Bring
that's
back the Miracle Druid that Life Coach played in the past.
yeah.
Yep.
Pretty sick
Yeah,
combos.
yeah. Although it doesn't look as good, but I
Yeah,
see
you
this
could
card
use it in
having a lot
Miracle.
of potential.
Yeah, you could definitely do a Miracle style Druid. It could be seen as a
definitely.
spell-based Druid instead of a minion-based. Like you could actually do some sort of spell-based strategy. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting card to see how that unfolds. It probably won't get used by a lot of people because they won't like it. But then again, a lot of people said that Unstable Portal would be shit too, and now look where it is. It's in like
Yeah.
every mage deck besides
Yeah.
Freeze. So. And Giants. So basically, any tempo style mage deck, they've still got a copy or 2 copies. So we'll see. We'll see how that card is. The jury's still out, but yeah, I kind of think it's pretty cool. I like it.
It's very flexible, very cool.
Yeah, very
For 1
cool.
mana cost, it's not bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Places itself is something better every time.
Let's go on to Hunter, right? Let's move on to the
Hunter.
Hunter review. Okay. Hunters also come with 3 new cards, just like every other class. We've got the Explorer's Hat, the Desert Camel, and the Dart Trap. So let's start with the Explorer's Hat. What do you think about that, Hermes?
I actually think this card is pretty powerful. As long as your opponent doesn't silence this, you can keep snowballing its effect and just keep buffing up your minions. It fits more into like the mid-range type, rather like using it for control rather than using it in Face Hunter. I actually don't think it's that good in Face Hunter. Do you guys actually think it's that good in Face Hunter?
I
It's
think
fairly weak in face.
yeah, I think it costs too much for Face Hunter.
Yeah, it's too taxing for the Face Hunter. But for mid-range, like if you use it for in terms of trading and board control, I think it's actually pretty strong. And then like I know that Hunter they usually like waste their cards like pretty quickly. Like they use up
Yep.
their cards pretty quickly. So this card is not that taxing to them if they use it in like the mid and late game. So that's a pretty good card.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
sort of like just a general minion pump up.
Yeah.
Works really extremely well with lock and load. Like being able to play it on the turn that you play lock and load, attack in with the creatures that you already have in play. Like put it on a creature that you're gonna attack with, it dies, get it back, replay
Yeah.
hat over and over again until you're out
Yeah.
of mana. It seems gross.
Yeah, it's so gross.
Yeah, it makes lock and load
Yeah.
look pretty ridiculous.
I mean,
now.
it means you can
Yeah.
actually play it twice in a turn as well. Like if you actually
Mhm.
kill the minion, then play it again, and play it on another minion, you can actually keep chaining it, which is
Yeah.
you could actually use this on all of your Unleash the Hounds, by the way. Like on 10 mana,
Yep.
you could Unleash the Hounds and put it on each hound as
Oh,
as they
God.
die.
100 creep
Oh
tokens,
god.
100
Yeah.
tokens.
Yeah, so people are kind of forgetting that. A lot of people are saying it's a very underpowered card. There are some great combos you can do with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lots
like
of potential. Yeah.
BH targets. A lot of targets that are like smaller, like a mysterious challenger,
Yes.
opposing Savannah high mains, and
Yeah, you can actually
other
buff
creatures
them.
like-
You can buff them and then BGH them. Yeah,
Tyrion.
Mhm.
Tyrion, you can buff Tyrion.
Oh. Oh man.
but would that would give the opponent the hat, not you, right?
No, Death Rattle will put.
But
forward
add an
Tyrion
Explorer's hat
just
to
so
your
it's
hand. To your hand, yeah, but that would
Maybe.
be that'll be the person whose creature it is, right? So yeah,
Well,
that's the jury's out on that
if
as
you're
well.
going for
Oh,
Then, you know.
okay. I see. I see.
Yeah.
Your opponent
I
for
see.
one.
Oh, that's a twist. I see. I see.
There is a small twist on there.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we know, right? Now we know. before
Now we
screw
know.
up. Yeah.
The Desert Camel. What do you guys think about the Desert Camel? Opinions. Let's go.
Not every control deck is playing a 1-drop, so
Yeah. If-
you're probably going to get advantage against those matchups, and that's kind of where you want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll see it as that much play as the other as the hat, but like in the mid range hunter right now, the only one drop they're playing is web spinner, right? So
Correct.
it's really
Yeah, they run with
Yeah.
in mid range. Yeah, in sort of the other
Yeah.
strategies, the more aggressive ones, they might run 2 or 3 one drops.
they might run too. Like it's stronger
Yeah.
in those kind of decks like face hunter, but
Yeah.
like in mid range hunter, I don't feel it's that strong unless you're willing to play like zombie challenge stuff like that.
Yeah. It instantly pulls like a
Also-
Leponome or a Worgen out of your deck as well for Face Hunter.
hmm I think like hybrid hunter would be quite okay with this.
Yeah,
card.
this would be decent with Hybrid, I think.
I put Houndmaster on him, make him into a 4/6, seems sick.
4/6
4/6
taunt sounds good to
taunt.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And get
huge.
the whip spinner out of your deck. You only have 2
Yeah.
of those in the deck. Gotta
Yeah.
thin your deck out from terrible 1-drops in the late game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see this card being disgusting in Hybrid Hunter, actually. Like, you could remove, like, 1 Arcane Golem for this card and stuff like that.
And it's
Pretty
probably got better value. Like it'll end up dealing more damage over time
Yeah.
because it hasn't got the two health, which is the thing that Arcane Golem kind of suffers from.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't have the drawback of giving your opponent a mana crystal.
hmm
It's,
Yeah,
it's
I can
slow.
see it.
It's slower, but it's also stronger, I think.
I see it being pretty good. Yeah.
And remember, it's a beast, so it does have the beast synergy, which is very good.
hmm
I think it's very playable in a deck that plays a ridiculous number of 1-drops. Like, you want to just dump your hand as fast as possible and make your deal 3, draw a card ability stronger. The 4-drop Hound, that when you have no hand, it gets +3/+3.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, the
you just
Call
wanna be
Master. Yeah.
more aggressive.
Yeah.
This is like drawing a card, being able to play that 1-drop and not have to pay for it. It's pretty cool. I don't know. But yeah, it seems pretty weak compared to your usual 3-drops. All the other ones, like Hover being able to attack in and then kill your opponent. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got Imo in chat saying that he thinks the hat is way too slow. The camel is playable. Imo, I I think it depends on what your strategy is.
Yeah,
Definitely depends.
Yeah, I think we sort of discussed on this. Like, I think did he miss out on it?
He may have, yeah.
Yeah. So Explorer's Head, I feel like it's really strong in mid-range Hunter, just because mid-range Hunter, like in the mid and late game, you expend your hand pretty quickly. So this card's actually not that taxing, and it's pretty strong for board control as well.
Yeah.
And then for Desert Camel, I guess like in my opinion, it's really strong in Hybrid Hunter. Just because mid-range Hunter don't really play the one-drops, like they only play the web spinner, but Hybrid Hunter, they play more aggressive one-drops like Leopard Gnome and all those good one-drops, like aggressive one-drop.
Okay, so let's continue on. I think we'll go to the next card, Dart Trap. What do you guys think about Dart Trap? When your opposing hero power, an opposing hero power is used, deal 5 damage to a random enemy.
I actually don't think this card's that good.
Don't think it's that good?
Yeah, it's like a better snipe.
A better snipe?
Even then, like, people could play around it. Just hero power first.
Yeah, just hero. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is going to deal 5 damage to their face though if they've got nothing on the board.
Yeah, but deal 5 damage is pretty huge to the face too. Like if you're playing Face Hunter, like that 5 damage is huge.
Oh, but you wouldn't play this in Face Hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably play explosive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see like sort of a control sort of strategy coming out with this, but it's not strong on its own. Like the deck needs to be built around it. I think. I don't think it's a card you can just auto include. I don't know, like Bear Trap for instance, like could be something like that. Like opponents are like, oh shit, it might be snakes, might be bear, but they won't know because even like most people will check on a Hunter Trap by first attacking with their face, then attacking with a creature, and then thirdly, they're not going to pick to hero power as the first thing, right? so this could actually really destroy some people, but I think it's more of a ladder card than a tournament card. I can't see it being that powerful, but it could be good.
I really don't like cards that just goes for a random enemy. Like I want to be more specific, like either the face or the random enemy minion. I think that would be a lot stronger, but too bad it isn't.
Well, the fact they could actually hit face on like Flame Cannon. Like Flame Cannon is easier to control because you could just kill off their weaker creatures and then Flame Cannon.
Yeah.
With this card, just 100% random. It could just hit their face.
Yeah.
So when they're at full health, you do that against a warrior and it hits their face, and they're like, "Well, I already have."
They already have a million things. Does the trap trigger with no minion in play? Yes, it does.
Yeah,
it can just go straight to their face rather than on the minion. Yeah.
Which is pretty disgusting.
So it does have some power. It just depends how you want to play with it. Grave Titan guy has said that if you're running an injured Cavaldier and as a 1-drop, and then the camel is technically 2/4s for 3, because your injured Cavaldier will not be injured when it comes out.
Very true.
Yeah, that's very true.
You actually play that card, so
you actually have to play that card. But I guess like is it 1 drop for 2/1 or?
Yeah, no. So you're playing paying 3 mana for 2/4s, which is quite strong. I think that's pretty good. It's a very good point, Grave Titan guy. Thanks for bringing it up. I think we should move on to the next class now. Let's move on to Mage. Mage is a class that everyone plays probably too much on the ladder, right? Like everybody loves playing Mage. It's because it's such a well-designed class. It's just got so many cool combos. It can be done in many different archetypes, controls, aggressives, like mid-range. Like Mage is a very well-rounded class. Fatigue. So let's go through and discuss their cards. Now, animated armor. This is one that we've been debating about a little bit off camera. We've been talking about sort of when it would be good and when it would suck. And I would like to sort of go to Durable first on this one so you can talk about fatigue games that he was sort of mentioning, as I think that's one of the coolest parts about animated armor and sort of its interaction against sort of Control Warrior and things like that. And I'll hand it over to Durable for the first run on this card.
I hate this card. Like, this card is terrible in the early game, except for being a 4/4. Maybe it trades with their 4-drop, or maybe they're even the 3-drop. It like necessarily doesn't even do that. But in the late game, one of the main ways that I lose like against warrior control decks, as like say Giants Mage or Freeze Mage, is it ends up getting into fatigue. Like I could fight off all their creatures, but they just have so much armor. They're just sitting at like 70 health. Like, how do you kill that? Well, this card says, hey, you only take 1 damage a turn. So you get to the fatigue turns, or for each damage you take, you only take 1 damage from that fatigue each turn. Like, 1 damage is insanely manageable. It's like, oh, I could take 8 turns of fatigue damage and then play Healbot and say, hey, I'm at full health again. What about you, Warrior? Oh, you're taking 8 damage? What does that make? Oh, you're taking 46 damage this turn? It's like, oh, you're just dead.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
This card actually wins those battles against fatigue.
Imo's just said in chat, is Mill Mage viable? I think if you went for that strategy, you'd have to really think about your deck at this current point in time, because Mill strategy is slowly going out the window with like the way that the decks are progressing. They're all really minion based strategies, and like giving people more cards in this current sort of state of the meta is not going to help you very much. It's very hard to mill a lot of the current decks, but it might become viable in the future, and this is a card that we're looking at kind of putting in there as well. It's also a good card for sort of countering out like a burst combo. Like if Patron was still a thing, right? This would have stopped Frothing Berserker in its tracks, because the Frothing would have had to hit the animated armor rather than hitting your face, right? Or the weapon would have had to hit the animated armor. Like there's a couple of things. It also stops Freeze Mage bursting you down in one turn, because you could play that and then Freeze Mage couldn't use its Pyro. The Pyro would do 1 damage. It's gonna be a card that needs a deck created around it again. It's not really can't just like include it in a deck. But yeah, I kind of I like it, especially for that fatigue reason. I think that's gonna win a lot of mage games, because a lot of mage games that are with control style mages like Grinder and what else we got, Echo Mage and Freeze Mage in particular, they usually go to fatigue pretty quickly. And this is one card that may be able to fit in those decks. You guys want to go on to this next card? Ethereal Conjurer. Battlecry, discover a spell.
I hate it. It's too expensive for what it.
5 cost 6/3.
I actually like this card, because then if you play this in Tempo Mage, right? If you play this in Tempo Mage, you're not usually running like Flame Strike, Blizzard, or any cards like that, right? And all of Mage spells are actually pretty good. Like, they're not actually terrible. Like, you can get like a secret and it keeps them thinking and stuff like that. And you have lots of spells to synergize with Tempo Mage too, right? So yeah.
And you have to remember that Discover is your own class's spells, and it's one that's not in your deck. So if you're using this with Tempo Mage, you could actually discover a Pyroblast, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like a high possibility of getting a Pyroblast, right?
Flame Strike would be pretty sick.
Flame Strike, like Blizzard, Nova, all these things.
But
that
do you cry when you get like Spellbender?
Well, you get to pick between the 3, man.
Yeah,
like
you
it's
get to pick 3,
like you get to pick. Like if you pick the Spellbender, that's your own fault. But like,
like even the Frost Nova.
Sometimes it's the best card. Right?
Like we have seen a couple of decks putting in that Grand Crusader that discovers the Paladin card. Well, it doesn't discover it; it just gets one, right? A random Paladin card.
Yeah.
This is the same cost, but you get to pick the card.
Arcade Missiles.
So
no, actually, it's not the same cost.
Is it the same cost? How much is Grand Crusader? 6?
It's like 6.
Oh, so this is a cheaper. This is cheaper than Grand Crusader.
Yeah, that's why I said this card is insane.
I like Tempo Mage. This could be good. It could
Just
be
remember,
good.
it's not a card that you're actually playing already. So like a lot of the tempo classes are already playing Arcane Missiles, Frostbolt.
Yeah. So
Like,
you
this
would
could
have
get
to
you
get
Pyro,
things
'cause you're not
like
playing Pyro.
Arcane Explosion and Blizzard and things. The things that you'd get.
I feel like this card would save you more than it would hurt
You could actually discover an Ice Block too.
Yeah,
like,
that's pretty
things
sick.
like that. Or you could discover a Roaring Torch, or Forgotten Torch, the next card that we're about to move on to. So let's move on to this next card, Forgotten Torch. I know Durabalicious is loving the shit out of this card. I'm not sure what Herman's ideas were. I personally like it. I think it can fit in a lot of decks.
I just think this card is pretty insane. There's too much value. Like, I'm pretty sure Durable have a lot of ideas with this card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. So what are your ideas, man?
Well, I mean, we'll start. It's like, look, it's a Frostbolt that costs 1 more, which you don't usually care about, and everybody wants to play 4 Fireballs. Like, Fireball is fucking sick. This card just fits right into Freeze Mage.
Yep.
It's a card that allows you to remove cards early in the game, and it's a cheaper Fireball. Like, you hit that with Emperor in the late game, it's like, oh, a 2-cost Fireballs with 1 Emperor activation. You could easily slam that with other spells.
Yes.
It's just so sick.
And one really good thing about it is the fact that a lot of the time, Freeze Mage wants to have its Frostbolts and its Ice Lances for either more control or for the big burst potential at the end of the game when you combo them all for a big finisher, right? Now, they always had the trouble with, this guy's just played a fucking Knife Juggler. Well, how do I kill that? Now, instead of blowing a Frostbolt on it, you can throw a Forgotten Torch at it, and you get another Fireball in your deck. Pretty good. Pretty damn good.
Yeah. In my opinion, like I don't
Uh,
play Freeze Mage that much, but you can pretty much fit this in almost any deck. Like Tempo Mage can benefit off this card like crazy as well because it's
Yeah.
such a low cost, and you can keep board control, draw into Warring Torch later, and just top deck it and finish off your opponent. So that's actually pretty sick too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, actually, to say something like I do play a ridiculous amount of Freeze Mage on ladder, and
Uh-huh.
one of the ways that I lose is that they get me down to fatigue to pop my ice block, so they don't have to. It This card just says, okay, so I get to buy another turn
Gives you
before I
two
die.
more turns if you run two of them as well.
Yeah, if you run two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, so
Um,
good. It allows you to do so much.
Imo's actually asked the question,
Uh-huh.
are all Discover cards unique / different? I'm not sure if they are. Like, can you just if you discover, even though they have to be out of your deck, right?
Uh-huh.
Can you say get 2 flame cannons in the discover? Is that
I'm
possible?
going to say no. Like they like when they were talking about it, they were talking about tracking. But,
Yeah,
like tracking, you could actually get the same
yeah.
cards.
Tracking can get the same cards.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, Imo. Unfortunately, we don't have the answer exactly for that right now. That's gonna be one we're gonna have to test out and see in the long run.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm hoping that it doesn't. I'm hoping it gives you 3 choices.
Yeah.
But
Choices every time would be
but then
pretty
again, like you could fill your deck with every single mage spell, and then use that card. What does it give you? Like, does it? It has to give you a spell that's not in your deck, right? And if there is no spells that aren't in your deck, then what does it give you? Like, does it do that thing with the Warlock Sense Demons, where you get like that little shade thing? I don't even know.
Oh, the
Yeah.
the useless shade.
Yeah, the useless shade. I don't know. I don't know what it gives you. We'll have to see how that works.
Yeah.
Torch is broken. I think it will replace Flame Cannon. That's probably very true, Imo.
Yeah. I think that's a good replacement.
Yeah, I think it's a good replacement because Flame Cannon, the randomness kind of sometimes stuffed you up. It's more consistent and it gives you more burn, and that's all you want a lot of the time in Mage.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think Forgotten Torch, cool card. Roaring Torch, better card. I think we now can move on to Paladin.
Oh.
Paladin. Everyone's been playing Secret Paladin and crap lately.
Yeah.
So let's see if there's anything different for Paladin. Oh, what's Grave Titan guy? You discover random cards that you could have put in your deck. Neutral discover cards can give you from the class you're playing or neutrals. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. But yeah, the spell one is ones that aren't in your deck that are from your class. Yeah. Okay. Anything can happen.
Anything happen.
Summon 7 Murlocs that died this game.
Murloc Paladin.
Murloc.
Murloc,
This has
Murloc
been
Paladin,
pushed so many times. It's someone's gonna have to finally get a good Murloc deck. This is a 10 mana cost card. That's
I think
big.
its cost is its downfall.
That's big, yeah.
Its cost
Yeah,
is very, very huge for potentially the value you're getting is not being very high.
Uh-huh.
Summoning 7
Well,
Murlocs
yeah,
that died
that's
this
the
game. Like when have
part
when
is
have
that
Murloc
you're,
games
like,
ever gone to
guaranteed
10, right?
Yeah. And like, can you even pick the 7 Murlocs, or are they random?
They're completely random.
Completely random
Okay.
that have died.
Then I can have like 7 shitty Murlocs. Then,
It could be
right?
7 Murloc Knights.
It
right?
could be 7 Murloc Knights.
Oh,
yeah.
oh. Okay. Oh, then that's
But yeah,
interesting.
that's one of the other
interesting.
things that I thought was bad about this is like, okay, so you can fill your Murlocs, but you can't use your hero power if you get have a bunch of haste Murlocs and just destroy bird. So you can't get your Murloc Knight back and then use your hero power and get more Murlocs.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I think it's weird. I think I don't know if Paladin's the correct class to have this card in. I'd like to see a neutral spell with this, so more classes can actually try this. But yeah, Pally, considering they do have the Murloc Knight now, it's pretty broken, pretty good card.
Yeah.
This could see some play. I don't know where. I could not see myself making a Paladin deck around this because there are just too many better Paladin decks than a Murloc Paladin.
Yeah. Wait. If a Murloc Knight, like just one Murloc Knight, died in the game, right? Does this summon 7 Murloc Knights guaranteed?
Well, it says 7.
It says summon 7 Murlocs
7 random.
that have died this game, so
Oh.
it could summon the same ones. It could summon different ones. It could probably summon your opponent's Murlocs, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
it
true
definitely
too.
could summon-
Yeah.
that's
So
true
if your
too,
opponents have
yeah.
had dead Murlocs, they could probably summon theirs back as well. Like this, that's probably why it's called Anything Can Happen, because that is the most RNG dependent Murloc card ever invented.
Yeah. I guess like you're going to like turn 10 as a Murloc deck. I guess like you need some last resort.
Yeah, it's kind of trying to
Yeah.
it's trying to get back into the game.
Yeah.
When like you've already kind of lost it. Like
7 charging Murlocs, yeah.
7
Yeah.
charge Murlocs, that would be disgusting, MO. Like we don't want to see that ever happen. That would be
Yeah.
very scary.
Very, very scary.
So yeah, that Murloc card, it's one of those ones we probably have to see in play. I can't see myself building a deck around it. I don't know about you guys, but it's probably gonna be fun. Like there's
Yeah,
gonna be
it's
some
pretty
fun
fun card.
decks.
Yeah.
It won't see that much play in Arena because it's just too high cost for like the fact you might only have 2 Murlocs or 1 Murloc in your deck.
Mm-hmm.
Grave Titan guy, play a naked old Murloc on turn 4 and just summon 7 of them at the end of the game. Pretty good OTK, not bad,
Yeah.
not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. It's
Not bad.
If you're not dead by then.
Yeah, but you could just play it in a control deck then. Like you could do this on like a control pally and just like stall out to the end of the game and get all the charging guys. All right, yeah. So there's a lot of things that could happen with this. What do you guys think about the next card, Keeper of Uldaman?
Overpowered. Not overpowered. Just like really powerful.
Really powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 4-cost card that gives you a 3/4 body. 3/4
So it's a
bodies.
guaranteed trade.
3/4 bodies are decent. It can trade with Shredder. 3/4 bodies usually you get for 3 though as a class card, right? Like most class cards that come, like think about Spell Slinger and like you get 3 mana cost mech for that, right? Like so the body is not great for the stats, but the battle cry is pretty good. Sets a minion's health and attack to 3. Lunacy's just said buffs your recruits. I love it. Yes, you can buff your recruits to 3/3. But this also means that anything you hit with that, you can trade with this minion favorably. Like if this is like if you hit an 8/8 with that, you can trade it off and still have a 3/1 on the board.
Yeah. Guaranteed trades.
It's a guaranteed good trade.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the second level of Eldor Peacekeeper. I'm sure it doesn't need that much explanation because I think this is on its own. It's a pretty well-rounded card. Like it's not bad. It's not OP. It's a good control card. It's probably an extra card that Pally did need to continue playing in this current meta.
Yeah.
If you want to play control.
Yeah, like if I were to run like mid-range paladin, like I would even replace the Murloc Knights with this card. Like I might. I just might.
Yeah.
What? That's
Would
a bold
you?
statement.
Would you?
It's tough.
Murloc Knight's way too
Yeah,
powerful.
it's tough. It's tough. Like they're both pretty.
Depends if you're
powerful,
playing
but-
mid-range or if you're just playing like a full control deck and you're looking for like Fatigue Paladin sort of thing.
Yeah. Rather.
Supreme Maiden is a
control.
4-drop. Murloc Knight is a 6-drop, right?
Yeah, technically you play
Differences.
both. Yeah. One of the most flexible cards I've seen, and bye Ysera. That is definitely it. Ysera is going down. It's one of the things Paladin could not deal with. That is absolutely correct.
That's a rare one.
Final Paladin card of this adventure, Sacred Trial. When your opponent has at least 3 minions in play and plays another, destroy it. Okay. What do you guys think?
Terrible, easily play aroundable. Like you just play your worst minion first. Like you were already doing that anyway with like Mirror Entity, right? So you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna play the shittier minion first every time, and not even care.
Yeah.
Like I'm really gonna compare this card to MC Tech because it's sort of similar, but we don't even see MC Tech being played that much either, right? Even if there's like a bunch of secret pallies and a lot of decks that floods the board.
Yeah.
So I don't really see this card being that good either.
Think about like the current sort of decks that you've just sort of mentioned. There's not a lot of decks that actually get past 3 minions. Like most decks are very much very much sort of 2 to 3 minions. Yeah.
Gormok.
Gormok is not very good. Like I've tried in a few decks. It's very hard to get to 4 creatures on the board. People control you very well at the moment. Like board control is very easy to keep.
That's
Sacred Trial, Leroy combo, troll, Yeah, if you did that and like kill one of their legendaries, Sacred Trial is pretty good.
and play their minion. And
Yeah.
like, oh.
Yeah, it's or you can use like Hungry Dragon as well for the same sort of effect. I could see that, but the opponent has to play another one. By the way, it's not just you playing them onto their side of the board; they have to play it. It says plays, so it still kind of doesn't work.
Yeah, you still can play around it just by trading off like the 1/1s and stuff like that.
Of all the Paladin secrets, though, like if you're playing Paladin secrets not in a Mysterious Challenger deck, this was probably one you could play, but probably not as good as Avenge. I think Avenge and Noble Sacrifice are their two strongest secrets. The rest of them are kind of weak.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably in the second tier Paladin secrets.
I'd put that with eye for an eye, like
Eye for an eye?
playability. It's like not.
Yeah, it's not
Well,
playable. Yeah, it's not very playable. But like
Yeah.
most Pally secrets aren't playable without Mysterious Challenger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's probably enough for Pally then. Let's move on to Priest.
Ooh, I love
Ooh.
most of these cards.
Yeah, I love all of these cards.
We love the
As a
Priest. We love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright. Excavated Evil. Deal 3 damage to all minions. Shuffle this card into your opponent's deck. I like it. What
I
do you
like
guys
it.
think? 5 cost as well. Remember the 5 cost?
Yeah.
Do you think the card is the correct value?
It is.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yes, correct value.
Yeah.
Definitely correct value.
Are you comparing it to Holy Nova?
Yeah, we were compared to Holy Nova. Like this card, like a 3 damage to all minions is actually pretty big compared to 2 damage because 3 damage is can almost kill anything, right? Like
Yes.
with against an aggressive deck.
Yep.
Yeah. And I guess like some people actually think this card is pretty bad at the same time, and I can see why, because you're also shuffling into your opponent's deck. But let's say you're playing like a minionless priest deck, right? Like freeze priest.
Yeah,
where
like
you
freeze
OTK
priest, man.
Yeah. Like when you're trying to OTK on it and not play a single minion, this card is pretty much useless for them. So this card actually has a lot of potential than you think. So
Yeah, mixer draws a little bit worse, and
yeah.
in the end, it's probably more likely just to kill your creatures that are gonna make you draw more cards, and you're just like, oh wait, so you're helping me out, sweet, and you're
Yeah.
burning 5 mana for the turn, so putting it in their deck is not all that bad.
Yeah, it's really pretty good. Yeah, Freeze Priest is one of the things that instantly stands out with it.
Yeah.
You
it's
could actually
freaking
sub a
amazing.
light bomb out for it.
Yeah. In like normal control priest, I would actually sub out like a light bomb for it if I really need to, because if I'm playing against like really aggressive decks, they don't really want to lose their board either. So
Yeah,
it's sort of okay at the same time.
yeah.
It's not bad.
I think it's pretty good. But yeah, we'll wait to see play with that.
Yeah.
Does it go back in your deck if your opponent replays it? Yes, it does. It's exactly the same card, Grave Titan guy.
Yeah.
If you play it, the opponent plays it back, it goes back into your deck. Yes.
Yes.
Infinite games.
So that's why freeze priest might actually happen. So pretty
Yeah.
strong. Yeah.
I know quite a few people are excited about Entomb. I personally am one of those. I think Entomb's quite good. Choose an enemy minion, shuffle it into your deck. Go for it, boys.
Yeah. I actually thought this card worked like gang up, but then you guys told me actually it's like sap, but it's to my own deck. So I actually think this card is pretty insane.
Yeah. It steals a minion, puts it in your deck off your opponent. Like your opponent loses all the tempo of whatever that card was, and you get to put it in your deck. It is 6 mana cost though. Do you think it's overpriced? Do you think it's correct?
It's probably a fine cost. Like,
Yeah, it's a fine cost. Like, let's say your opponent plays a 0, right? Because usually priest can't even handle your 0. You just put your 0 in your deck and have another threat later on. Yeah, so it's pretty good.
get past that fatigue
Yes.
turns as well later game, and not have to worry about losing to
Yeah.
certain matchups. Do that against Warrior, and like the Warrior's just gonna cry, like
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
the best minion in my deck. What are you gonna do?
We've had a few messages in chat saying it's very super strong in Arena. It is.
Yeah,
It's
it
very
is.
super strong in Arena.
Very
It's a
super
better
strong.
version of mind control in Arena.
Gives
Yeah.
you such a huge tempo loss. Holy crap.
And
But
there's one particular thing to mention about it as well. It's a common card. You're gonna see it a lot in Arena. It's not expensive as the card. Like it is a cheap card. It will be seen a lot in Arena. So people are gonna see this. I think we've kind of figured out Entomb. Yeah, basically takes the creature from your opponent, puts it in your deck, kind of like sapping to your own deck.
Yeah, constructed it seems fairly weak for its cost, and
Yeah,
you still have to
constructed it's a
actually
little
draw
bit
the card
it's
to
a little
get
bit
value
weak.
out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
constructed
it's
you're
okay.
used to just removing things and getting value off that.
Mhm.
Okay, Museum Curator. What do you guys think? It's a 2 mana cost, 1/2 card. Battle cry is discover a death rattle card. So this can be anything from Zombie Chow to Sneed's Old Shredder.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
okay, so one of the problems that Priest has is that they don't have enough cards that actually do anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're
Yep.
very reactive in the end, and there's like so many turns you'll just sit there and go like, oh, you have nothing on the board? Well, my cards kill your creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I'm not doing anything this turn. This card here is like, oh, I get to play something. I could build up if I could play Velen's Chosen or other pop-ups. That's cool, but it also gives me another creature to work with, and that creature has Death Rattle. And there's just so many good Death Rattle creatures. You can't even like get anything
And
bad.
you get to pick the Death Rattle creature as well.
Yeah.
You could play Dragon Priest, and you know what? You could just leave Chillmore out, and you can get Chillmore off that. Like, there's a lot of ways it's okay. Grave Titan thinks it's still got awful tempo.
Yeah.
But that depends if you're going for a tempo game. If you're going for more of a control game, 2/2 would probably be better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, Priest has spells that they remove things with. Like
Yeah.
most of the time, like they're using their Holy Novas and their Light Bombs and their Excavated Evils to remove creatures rather than their minion trading. And they remember they have pump ups, really cheap ones like Powered Shield and Velen's Chosen, which make these cards very good. Like for 5 mana, you can play that, get a free guy, and Velen's Chosen.
Yeah.
Compare that card to a Mad Scientist. I don't know if it's the same as a Mad Scientist, really. Like it's
Yeah, it's not the same.
it's different. Like you can get a much higher value card than a secret off this
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, I understand.
You get a Belcher, you get a Sludge Belcher. Like you can get anything with Death Rattle, as long as you choose the correct one for the situation.
Like, I understand the Grave Titan guy. Like, when I first saw this card, it's like a huge tempo loss. But if you're playing this card in Control Priest deck, and I played like quite a bit of Control Priest to Legend, this card is actually not that bad. It's a 2-drop because you really don't play anything for the first couple of turns unless you have like a Zombie Chow, or you can actually combo with the Injured Blade Master with the Circle of Healing. But like, I guess like in a more tempo deck in Dragon Priest, this card is pretty terrible. You do not want this card because your turns from 1 to 4 actually really matters in order to win the game. So
Yes.
this card's actually not bad in Control Priest, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just replaces itself every single time.
Yeah.
Wait, the word
Like-
on the card is weird. Would you discover Feign Death or Hat? Because it doesn't explicitly
No,
say
you would.
minion.
Like okay,
Right.
Hat gives the
Yeah.
minion Death Rattle, and
Yes.
Fatigue Death just has the keyword Death Rattle in it, but that it only triggers Death Rattle abilities. There is no spell that has. Wait, you
Yeah, it's
you
a
actually
Death
get a Death
Rattle
Spite
card,
card.
right?
You
It's
could add a Death Spite from this card.
holy crap.
Yeah, you could get Death
Yeah.
Spite
Oh, you
from
can
this.
get a Death. Oh my god.
Yeah,
It does-
or
oh,
Cog
yeah,
Hammer,
it
or
does.
any.
There's no
Oh, not
spells
Cog Hammer.
for it.
The Power Mace. Yeah, you could get anything Death
Power
Rattle
Mace.
as long as it says Death Rattle on it, probably.
Yeah,
That's
probably
disgusting.
a weapon for a priest seems pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, makes
seems
sense.
pretty good.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, this might just be a one of in a deck. It probably isn't
Yeah,
two because
yeah.
it's probably too bad for two drops at this
Well,
stat
that's
line.
supposed to be- Like we still haven't seen how powerful Discovery could be. I mean, Discovery could be really sick when you have 3 choices. Like you always take the best card of those 3 choices, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So like you get a Belcher. What happens if the worst card is the Belcher, and then you have like Steezel Shredder? What's also Major Domos a Death Rattle as well? Like
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many fun things you could do with it.
You couldn't
Oh,
actually. No, you couldn't actually get those weapons. Yeah, the Imo is correct there. Remember, you can only get your class cards plus neutral cards, right? You
Oh,
can't
right,
actually
right.
take the
I
other
thought
class.
Discovery was anything that was.
No,
unless
unless it's a spell, yeah, a discovery might be able to get the weapon. There's like we only know that it can be a class spell, or it can
it
be,
just says keyword Death Rattle. It does
or
not say
yeah.
Death
This
Rattle.
actually does say discover a Death Rattle card. It does not say
Yeah.
discover a spell or discover a minion. It says card. So that specific wording probably means you can get the weapons. We'll see. We shall see.
I believe.
We believe.
Yeah,
Let's play Patron Priest, boys.
Yeah, let's play Patron.
Patron
We've been waiting here
Priest.
to confirm. Patron Priest seems
Patron
safe.
Patron
confirmed.
Priest.
I'll make a video on it if I get a Death Blade.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I think we've gone through those sort of options enough.
Well, there's
Uh,
actually 3 weapons with Death Threat, right? There's also the Shaman, well, the second Shaman, the 4 cost. When it dies, you could get the.
Yeah, Imo, we do need clarification. We've been researching a little bit as much as we can on this, but we haven't actually seen that happen. Like we've seen people playing this card, like we've had a couple of people go to BlizzCon and check it out, but we do not know. We still do not know if that can happen because we don't know it can't happen and we don't know it can happen. So at the moment, it's kind of neither here nor there.
Well, they only have 2 keywords at the moment, It's like spell, which spell is 100% only in your class, and then minion, which is any minion out there. It's
Yeah.
not just based off your class
Yeah, this
itself.
just says card. So, interesting. Let's move on to the Rogue review. I don't know if you've been waiting for this. Rogues have been needing some love in Constructed for a long time. Mainly because like they didn't get anything new, not because they were a bad class. Oil Rogue was still viable. It just didn't really change. Like Freeze Mage though, but nobody complained Freeze Mage didn't change because it was just good still.
Still tier 2.
Still tier 2.
Still tier 2. Yeah.
Okay, let's go. We'll start off with Tomb Pillager. I'd see in chat what you guys think of Tomb Pillager. I personally think it's a bit weird. But so it's a 4 mana cost card. It's got 5 attack, 4 health, Death Rattle. Add a coin to your hand. It does pass the Belcher check, and it is 4 cost, so you can play it the turn before Belcher. So you can trade with Belcher, but it doesn't trade at all with Shredder, right?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
It's like they get a 3/2 and you get a what? A coin?
Yeah, you get a coin. Yeah, it seems pretty peasant-like, right?
Yeah, very.
I think it's cool in Arena. Allows you to have a lot more combo cards. Allows you to play like an ogre on turn 5, or what is the panda that costs 5?
Yeah.
That fun little 6/7.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Shadow Pan.
Yeah.
Shadow Pan Hunter,
Oh,
whatever his
okay,
name is.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
see
panda.
that.
Yeah. So it might be replaced over Pilot Shredder. Maybe it does like as a combo activator. Lunacy is correct there. Who else has chimed in on this one? Imo says he thinks it's meh, but Lunacy seems to think it's honestly. I think it's pretty average. Like, how much value has that new card got? What's that other one from TGT? The cut purse, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, cut purse, and you don't really see it being played either.
Yeah, like
it's unplayable because it's too easy to kill, and it's.
Okay, so for Tomb Pillager, you can see it getting the coin sort of guaranteed, but that doesn't really make a huge difference. But if you're playing this card in Rogue, usually you want to play as much minions out as possible, at least for Aura Rogue, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to combo in your Tinker and finish off your opponent. But this card doesn't really do that. It's not sticky enough to be on the board because
it's not a Shredder.
Yeah, it's not as good as Shredder. So
I wouldn't even find this card OP if it gave you 2 coins. Like, I would still not play it if it gave you 2 coins.
Yeah.
That's like, if that said give you 3 coins, would you play it? Maybe. If it says 2 coins, probably not. 1 coin, definitely not. So I don't know. It seems very average unless a lot of people start being Shredder, right?
Shredder or a Tomb. Shredder, Shredder just seems sick. Like,
would you rather Raptor, Shredder, or Tomb? Definitely Shredder. But Raptor's on turn 3 anyway, so you've got him anyway, so you can have a 3 and a 4. Let's move on to the Raptor then, considering that's getting a lot of things.
Dude, this card is ridiculous.
Yeah, Raptor's ridiculous. It's OP.
Yeah.
Like, it's broken.
Yeah, it's broken. There's so many possibilities with this card. Like, just because of this card, I actually think Tempo Rogue might actually be viable. Like, just run like a heavy Death Rattle deck, like with Pilot Shredders, Belchers, Eggs.
The 9-drop?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so you copy the Death Rattle's effect, so when this guy dies, he comes back to your hand and puts a 4/4 onto the board?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked. There's so many combos with this.
Yeah, and this card is actually not bad in Aura Rogue too. Let's say I run the variant with like 2 Pilot Shredders, 2 Belchers, and maybe something else. Yeah, you can even copy their Death Rattle. Yeah, and they usually run like 2 Earthen Ring and 1 Edwin, right? You can probably play some of those 3-drops for 2 of these cards or 1 of these cards. It would be pretty powerful.
This card's just as sticky as any other Death Rattle minion.
Yeah, exactly.
A 3/4 is also really good stats.
It's a 3/4 for 3, and another thing is it really makes your opponent not want to kill it because of the things that can come out of it, right? And that's one thing that Rogue minions suffer from. Like, Rogue needs stuff to stick so they can do their oil combo, right? And this is one that it kind of makes it hard for them to clear. Like, they need to completely clear that and whatever comes out in the same turn, or they still get killed by oil. Such a good tempo card. Such a great card for Rogue. I'd like to see what happens with it. We might even see some tempo Rogues with this being put on Lepinomes and Spiders and shit like that.
Yeah.
Eggs.
Eggs.
I still like it with egg alone.
Egg is good. Egg is good because it gives you an egg that you can actually like trade. Like you can actually trade with this egg without
Yeah,
buffing the egg.
play.
Like it's
Yeah.
it's an egg that's good.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. There's unlimited possibilities with this.
Oh,
Like
oh man.
I
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. You can even go back to that old school tempo rogue, and then it's like putting this card in, like with Arguses and stuff like that, and eggs.
Well,
Oh my
Tempo Rogue
god.
wasn't always that bad.
Yeah, it
It
wasn't
was
always
just
that
weaker
bad.
compared to its Oil Rogue brother.
Yeah.
Oil Rogue just being too overpowered.
I think this almost equalizes it. Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next card. Hit Snake. What do you think?
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah, I think this card is gonna be really strong in aggro rogue. I don't
Yeah.
see it being played in any others. But like I guess like one card we can compare it to is the Emperor Cobra, which is never being played just because it's a 3-drop for 2/3. But since
Yeah.
it's a 1-drop, it's easily played, right? So
I think it helps nerf Web Spinner a little bit, because it could come out of Web Spinner or a Ram.
Yeah.
Ram
It can come out of Ram Wrangler. It can come
Yeah,
out of Web
that's true.
Spinner. Yes,
That's
it
true.
can.
yeah, that's true.
So it's kind of like a nerf in a way, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it dies to hero powers and
Uh-huh.
AoE abilities quite frequently, so I don't see it being that powerful. In most cases, what it's trading with is something that has 2 toughness anyway. Let's
Mhm.
say Juggler.
Yeah.
I like it for
actually doesn't
killing.
really-
That's
Yeah.
I like it for killing Donatus Aspirant. Honestly, I like that
it kills
against Druid.
Aspirant, but
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
isn't your opponent just gonna
Get
hero,
hero power.
build
Yeah,
it
hero power
away?
down. Yeah.
That's a pretty.
Well, like
down.
they're not gonna pass their turn to not play Aspirant against that. Like it wastes it like
it's the same exact thing. Like
Yeah, but
you're
like-
losing the aspirant, you're just
yeah,
losing
but it forces
It's
that trade off the board anyway because like a Druid can't innovate into say a Belcher or something then as well. Like
well, yeah, it stops the turn.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
play.
like you
It's
need
not
to
just
you need to
like
kill it
trade.
regardless. So it's a creature that needs to be killed. So there could be some play, but yeah, as Sir Herp has said in chat, worse than Patient Assassin, which nobody plays. Yeah, I could say that. Yeah.
I think
It
it's
is-
just fairly strong in arena. Just make your opponent just skip turn 2, just remove this card.
Yeah.
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 It's just a tempo card. There's nothing really else we can really say about it. Not that good. Pretty average.
Don't
Very-
worry, guys. We're gonna combo this card with conceal and make this card away.
Concealed Pit Snake.
Yeah, conceal.
Snake Rogue. Shaman review. Time to move to Shaman. What do you guys think?
I think this card is insane.
Every fin is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a permanent +2/+2 to a board that's full of Murlocs. It's so easy just to play 3 Murlocs, even 4 Murlocs in a turn, and still play this card. I think you could just even turn 7. It's just so easy to play and pump up a board and have 10 power plus on the board in the same turn that you play it. All the cards. I like it.
Yeah, and it's one less for each minion you have, each Murloc you have on the board as well. So this thing could, if you have, it's very easy to get 3 or 4 Murlocs on the board. If you get 3 Murlocs, 4 Murlocs, this card becomes a 3 cost, 2/2 to everything permanently. It's not, it's a better Bloodlust, right? It's a better Bloodlust for a Murloc deck. You could combo it with Bloodlust, as I spoke about last night, but it's also very hard to combo that with Bloodlust because it's a lot of mana.
Lose all your Murlocs out of AoE range really fast.
Yeah,
You can also combo this card with Nepulon too, right?
Neptulon,
definitely.
play all your dudes next turn, then play this. Quite
Yeah.
good.
+14, +14.
Yeah,
plus-
it's-
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's
Yeah.
very good.
It's super
fairly good,
for 7
yeah.
mana. Makes that new card +10/+10 seem pretty
Yeah.
weak in comparison.
Yeah, if you want to be playing, if you want to, and remember this isn't a 10 cost like the fucking Paladin one.
Yeah.
Why is Paladin's one 10 cost? This seems better, right?
Yeah, this card seems so much better, and it's 7 costs.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know,
Murlocs are
Kev.
new meta.
And you can actually play this two copies of this in a deck, by the way. I don't know,
see.
Kev.
I see Blizzard as seeing something that we don't see.
Next card we got along here is the Rumbling Elemental. After you play a Battle Cry minion, deal 2 damage to a random enemy.
I think this card's pretty average.
4 cost 2/6.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I don't know about this.
Competing with that.
I don't know about this, Kev. I think I like a Knife Juggler better than this.
Yeah.
It hasn't got the battle. If this was every time you play a minion deal 2, it'd be a bigger Knife Juggler.
Yeah.
Right?
that'd
This
be
is every time you
good,
play
yeah.
a Battle Cry minion. You need to actually play creatures that you probably don't want to play with that card. A bad Flame Waker, that's correct.
I-
that's
yeah,
correct,
okay,
Emo.
that's correct.
It's
Yeah,
a
I
Flame
agree.
Waker that's harder to play.
Yeah.
I don't see
Maybe
it getting much play.
maybe if this card was a 3/5, it would be a little better. Just because it can trade it into other 4 drops.
Good for
But just
arena,
because, yeah,
right?
yeah, just because, yeah, it's good for arena. Yeah.
Ship Cannon's still better than this though.
Yeah.
Like, I'd probably
That's
take
true.
Ship Cannon over this every time.
Yeah,
That's true,
yeah, because
that's
it's
true.
cheaper and does the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
For a class card, that's really underwhelming.
Yeah,
It's very, very underwhelming.
Yeah.
This should be a. If anything, I'd play this if this was like a 2-cost card with Overload 1. I think it'd be better than this. Like it just seems too ridiculous and crap. That's all I can say about that card. Tunnel Trog. Whenever you overload, gain 1 attack per locked mana crystal. Remember, this is not gain 1 attack every time you cast an overload spell. If your spell or your overload says overload 3, you gain 3 attack. You don't gain 1. Yeah.
It's Shaman's mana worm. Like this.
Shaman's,
card
yeah, Mana Worm, Zombie
it's
Chow.
very
Shaman's
explosive.
mana worm, yeah.
Very explosive. Like
Yeah.
you throw 3 spells into your opponent, and also this card becomes a 5 attack creature. Like
Yeah.
game breaking. You just kill people out of nowhere.
And you play this into the Totem Golem,
Yeah.
and you've got a 2/3 and a 3/4 on the board by turn 2. Like you can play a very, yes, it can keep growing. Yes, every time that you cast an overload, any overload, not just a spell, like you can cast the 7/8 taunt, and that will overload it as well. Like there are
I think
many
Shaman's
things.
been crying for a card like this from the beginning. Like
Yeah.
Zombie Chow was such an improvement to Shaman, and Shaman
Yeah.
still was behind all the other classes.
Yeah.
This card will help.
Yeah.
This
It's just
will.
yeah.
I don't know if you guys have been watching a lot of the BlizzCon, but if you watch Tice's Priest deck where he ran all the 1-drops, he ran the Zombie Chow and like what did he have? Like the Dragonling and the Cleric. This is what Shaman needs to be able to compete at that level as well, to be able to actually play against aggressive decks. This is a good card for that. It's going to help them immensely with that.
Yeah, Shaman relies so much on tempo. This is actually gonna help a lot since it's running with Zombie Chows and the Totem Column. It's pretty insane. I like it.
Makes you question Fork Lightning. Is it good? Is it bad?
Is Fork Lightning good or bad? I still think 2 Overload is bad, but if you do this guy, what if you go this guy, coin a second one, then turn 2 Fork Lightning? Like
Fork Lightning only costs 1, so you could play this guy on turn 1, then turn 2.
You could.
Another Trog and Fork Lightning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it
they
this
become
card-
3/3s pretty quickly. Like it's pretty good.
Yeah. Snowball's just as hard as Mana Worm.
Yeah, and it doesn't have the drawback of healing your opponent for 5. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Could be used in aggressive shamans. It could be used in defensive shamans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Definitely both.
definitely
Like,
both.
Lightning
It's a good 1-drop. It's a 1-drop they probably needed. Yeah, 3 HP is crazy for 3 health, for 3 mana.
Yeah, the 3 hit makes it
Yeah.
pretty solid.
Yeah,
So like other week 1-drops, this card is real.
yeah.
I think we're gonna see a lot of it in like an aggro style shaman, like Whirling Matic type shaman, like mech shamans and stuff.
Yeah,
Like, I don't see
it could
being
definitely play in Mech Shaman. Yeah,
Mix Crackle.
you can play that over that 2/1 mech that gives you a spare part as well. Like it's probably better. Definitely
Oh,
better.
definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
This kills that mech and
Yeah.
still gets go face
yeah, it's pretty
to
good.
protect the Whirling Matic.
So we can comfortably say that we're all pretty excited about the Tunnel Trog. We think it's a good card. We're looking
Very
forward
good.
to
I'm not
creating
sure
shaman decks with it.
If Murloc Shaman or the mech shaman would, which deck is gonna be better in the end? Like Murloc Shaman is looking pretty sick with every fin is awesome.
Yeah.
Like I want to play that card. I also want to play Trog Troll or Tunneling Trog.
Yeah. You can even play Tunnel Trog as an aggressive card too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
that's
So even that card even works in Murloc Shaman. I actually think Murloc Shaman is gonna be pretty powerful.
We'll have to come up with a deck for it.
Like
Yeah.
this in Murloc Shaman, because like you're already playing so many 1-drops.
Remember, Shaman
And-
does have that thing that card that's every time that a card dies that's a Murloc, you get to draw again, right? And it's also an overload. So it does both. It combos with both those
Oh,
cards.
it does. Oh yeah, it does have overload.
Yeah. Combos
Neptune
with both
has
of them.
overload.
Yeah, Neptune also has overload. So there is some
Wait,
potential.
is it Neptune 3 overload as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So you can play that on turn 8 with this guy, and he's a 3/3 and Neptulon. Yeah, 10 power
It's
on
not
board
bad.
for 4 Murlocs. Pretty good.
not bad.
All right, let's move on to the Warlocks.
The most disappointing class of them all this
Yeah,
year.
fucking terrible class. Reliquary Seeker, Battle Cry. if you have 6 other minions, gain 4+4. That this is such a disappointing card. Like,
The stealth imp
think-
on one, and
I think it just sucks.
yeah, it is 1 mana for a 5/5 if you can get 6 minions on the board. All right. But someone in chat, please tell me how many times you have successfully got off a Gormok, right? Try and get a Gormok off. It happens 1 in every fucking 15 games you have Gormok, right? And this is you think they made a typo in the card? I'm pretty sure they did as well. I'm pretty sure they did. I think they should have typoed this and said delete this card from the game.
I think it would have been fine if it was a demon, because then you have all your
Yeah,
your
it
demon
was a
synergy
demon-
cards.
It's
yeah,
not
it
even
was
not even a fucking demon. Like what a waste of a card.
And everybody.
It's like I'd rather play Sea Giant every time over this card. Like
Yeah,
Sea Giant will always be
Yeah,
8/8.
Sea Giant
and it's always
8/8
so
can't be
playable, it's
silenced.
ridiculous.
This is a flop.
This is like 90% of the time, or even like 99% of the time, it's going to be a 1/1 when you play it.
Worse than Wisp.
It's gonna.
Yeah, it's probably worse than Wisps.
Yeah, because it gets silenced and goes back to being, and it's actually more expensive than a Wisp. Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah. Like everybody would probably think like synergize it with Dread Seed and stuff like that, right? But when do you actually want 6 Dread Seeds on the board, right?
Yeah,
And,
never.
yeah. And also by the time you have 6 Dread Seeds on the board, you can probably play something better than this.
Like
with-
Melganis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Melganis, exactly.
yeah. This
Gilgamesh,
is
Skillbot,
Yeah.
this is a 1-drop that gets
Braxis.
played on turn 7. That's fucking terrible. We don't want it. Get it out of here. Don't want to see this. Not like this. I
Not
hate
like
this
this,
card.
Yeah.
It could have been Battlecry if there are 6 or more minions in play. Yeah, if it was 6 or more minions in play, like so it worked like the Sea Giant, that would be good. It'd be much more playable. But if it's
Well, okay, maybe if it wasn't Battlecry, if it was just a static effect, when you have 6 minions, it gets +4/+4.
yeah,
Then
yeah, I could see that.
it could be playable, and you'll eventually get up to 6 other minions. It's like, but this, like, you can't play it on turn 1. It's always gonna be a late game card. And are you really getting like a lot of advantage out of it if you're playing it on
Yeah.
like turn 6, turn 7,
Yeah.
just as a 5/5? And then you have 4 other mana to work with. I mean, you can't even play anything else once it's a 5/5. It's literally the last card you play for your turn.
Yeah, because like it is the 7th card. Like there only is 7 slots on the board. Like this is so fucking terrible. It doesn't even work with
Mixer
Onyxia. Doesn't even work. Like you need to Onyxia, Mortal Coil 1 off, then play it. Like,
Yeah, I know.
like the
Harrison combos. Combo.
oh man. And the card that probably see here is Dark Peddler. Yeah, I think that's correct. Let's talk about Curse of Reform. Interesting card. What do you guys think? I think it's kind of okay. So give your opponent for 2 cost. Give your opponent a cursed card. When they hold it, they take 2 damage on their turn. Now I know I didn't put a card here of like what the curse looks like, but what the curse is, it's a 2 mana cost card that's in their hand. And they can play it whenever to get rid of it. It's a 2 cost that does nothing for them, right? But it makes them take 2 damage per turn. Now, what we were talking about off camera was the fact that this curse, when you play it onto somebody, they effectively have to skip their turn 2 to play that card and have no effect on the board. Otherwise, it's just going to keep eating away at their health, right? Handlocks don't really care, but other classes, their health kind of matters. It gets around Ice Block as well, because they take the damage on their own turn. So if you play this when Mage is on 1 HP, and he's got Ice Block, you end turn, he dies. And that's pretty overpowered. So there is some uses to this. What do you guys think? You guys got some more input on this card? Where you could see playing things?
Oh, combo with Lothar. A terrible combo. But
Play it with Lothar.
Yeah, just play it, Lothar.
well, when
Yeah.
you play with Lothar, it says deal 4 damage to your opponent instead of just 2.
Yeah.
Correct.
Turn 9, you drop double curse, and then your opponent's like, well, do I pay 7 to drop 1 curse this turn? Or do I just take 8 from this? That's a pretty sick combo.
Does spell damage affect this card? That's
No,
that's
'cause
something
it's
I'd like to know.
No.
It's in your opponent's hand, so
Yes,
it
you're
would.
playing a sand, yeah.
Well, the question would be like, do they have spell power? So,
Yeah. What did you say it bypass Ice Block? Yes, because if they've got
Yeah.
Ice Block, right, and they've got this in their hand, that damage would be dealt while they're holding it in their own hand, which means it doesn't actually activate the Ice Block. They will take the damage without Ice Block activating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
secrets don't trigger on their turn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it goes
like
straight
if
through
you
Ice
didn't know.
Block. Yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't know, Ice Block doesn't happen on their turn, only happens on your opponent's turn. I think this card is more used as a tech card. Like, it's sort of similar to Sacrificial Pact, right? Like, if you see
Yeah.
a lot of guys playing Draxes, you Sacrificial Pact on them. If you see a lot of Freeze Mage, which Warlock does have a bad matchup against Freeze Mage, then Curse of... Yeah, this card would, like... be
It can
pretty
kind
good.
of close the gap a little bit, but then
Yeah.
again, the freezes are the things that are killing them. They need to run to beat a freeze mage. I think a zoo would probably need 2 of these and 2 silences.
Turn.
On
Yeah.
their turn is odd wording. Why not start of their turn or end of their turn? I'm not sure. I believe it's probably means at the same as at the start of their turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, on their turn is
Yeah.
is weird.
Yeah.
I think it's probably because at the start of their turn or at the end of their turn is actually quite long, and that card text is I'm not gonna like shoot myself in the foot here, but looking at that card text, it's probably the longest card text in the entire game so far.
True.
Right?
That's true.
Like I don't
That's true.
think I think it's probably because they couldn't fit it. That's what I'm gonna go with. The devs
Yeah.
were lazy. They couldn't fit it on the card, and they're like, "Fuck it, we'll
Well,
just
it's also-
change it."
Just referring to the curse itself. The curse has the wording on it. I'm pretty sure
Mhm.
the curse says at the start of your turn you take 2.
Yeah.
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 And then Blizzard also are notable for having bad wording, so
Yeah.
sort of.
Well, they like to be
Yeah.
very vague with their cards, so that they,
Yeah.
if they change it, they're like, "Oh, we're just making it so
Yeah.
the wording is correct now."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, you also changed the ability too. What the
Yeah.
hell are you doing, guys?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to sort of the more kind of exciting card, I would say. 2 cost 2/2, Dark Peddler. Battle Cry is discover a 1 cost card. You get to choose the 1 cost you get with this. What do you think, guys?
It's like average. I mean, I think it's there just so you can have more ways of flooding your board and not have
Mhm.
to tap and stuff.
Yeah.
You could do this, like you could on turn 3 you could play this guy plus play the 1 drop and not because.
Yeah. Just a bunch of card advantage for the early game. It's not bad.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. You could run this in a zoo strategy. Like, I would run this over maybe Egg if you wanted to, but that kind of kills you in
Egg is so
AoE.
powerful.
Yeah, I think Egg is too powerful in terms of an aggressive.
Because there's
card.
not a lot of things you could swap this for, right? Like, what
Yeah.
else would you sub for in a current zoo deck? You might actually have to come up with your own sort of new deck, maybe like a tempo-based control deck. You might use this to like keep board control at the start.
This,
Once again, I think this card would have been better if it was a demon. Like
yeah.
Warlock really needs a lot more
Yeah.
early demon cards.
Yeah,
'cause-
it probably should have been a demon. I do not know why this isn't a fucking demon. It even looks like a ghost demon sort of thing. Like, yeah, why isn't that a demon, Blizzard? Please, why?
Please, Blizzard, please.
It may
please.
change before the adventure gets released. You never know, but yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, like the fact that they're releasing these like the Dark Peddler and the Reliquary Seeker, and they're not even demons. It's like, come on, guys. All right, but yeah, I think the average card Warlock didn't get much love in this expansion.
Yeah.
It got average, very
Yeah,
shitty
very
love.
average.
The Warrior review, guys. I'm sure a couple of people are excited about this because there are some good cards here. So,
Ooh,
What's that?
Cursed Blade, 1 mana cost, 2 damage, 3 durability weapon that has the drawback of doubling all damage dealt to your hero while you have this equipped.
As a freeze rage, I'm excited about this card.
Yeah.
I would love my opponent to play this.
Shred them. Shred them.
Shred them.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, my 21 damage combo now does 42 damage. Sick! I favorably burn through all your armor.
It's like,
Yeah.
thanks, bro. Thanks.
But no, like, I think this is definitely for one of those like really aggressive face warriors that used to like, you know, the one that Rain had created. Obviously, everything goes face. I think this card combos out well with the 2/3 pirate, like being able to
Yeah,
have a
the
full
2/3 pirate is very
consistently
good.
on turn
Oh,
2.
yeah, I can see that.
Pretty fucking
Yeah.
ridiculous.
So yeah,
Fancy.
Pirate Warrior, I see this being good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this card works with upgrade and greenskin as well. Like just constantly having something to abuse. Like you don't have to
Uh-huh.
play 5 cost weapons. This card deals 6 damage, so it's right there with War Axe as well
Yeah.
in damage output. The only drawback is you take that lot of damage. So I wouldn't play this in Control Warrior. I still think,
Yeah, Control Warrior, no way.
Yeah,
far
no way.
better.
No way. Yeah. So counterintuitive.
but I can see this being in a pirate warrior deck.
Yeah, I see a pirate aggro warrior. That is
Pirates anyway. In that.
that's what
Pirates
this
work.
has to be in. Like I can't see this working in anything else. particularly in the current meta. Unless Warrior takes a big swing.
We also have to see. We also have to play this card to see too, right? Just to see if the trade-off is actually worth it.
Probably isn't going to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, probably isn't. Like if I hit a knife juggler, I take 6 damage. That's pretty huge.
Yeah.
Even if I armor up, it's still 4 damage. So that's
Yeah.
also pretty huge.
Well,
I
yeah.
think it's just there for
So-
tempo plays, and
Yeah.
this card really does answer like the early game
Yeah.
really aggressively. You're gonna kill 3 of your opponent's creatures, but in turn you are probably gonna be at 15 on turn 3, which is a bit scary.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a bit scary. Yeah.
So I think Curse Blade's pretty cool. I actually if I was going to play it in more of a control variant, I'd be playing it in a taunt style warrior. Like I can see taunt
Yeah.
warrior being kind of okay. Like it gives you more early game when you're taunting. When you've got that many taunts, you don't necessarily need to care about your life total that much. But basically, yeah, I'm thinking decent card. Probably not that great, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. That's
Yeah.
gonna have to be creative, like to make
Yeah.
a deck for that.
Yeah, we would need a lot of testing.
Obsidian Destroyer.
Probably better war
7 mana, 7/7. Definitely a better War Golem, right? It's
This is
already
Dr.
better
Boo?
than that.
Dr. Boo?
It's
Dr. Boo?
it's almost its own Doctor Boom.
Yeah.
This thing, it's killing one of my favorite cards here. It's killing Hogger, right? Hogger is 6 mana cost, 4/4, summon a 2/2. This is Warrior's version of a Hogger that you can have 2 Hoggers.
Yeah.
And it can be comboed with Bolster as well. The only bad thing about it is it can be BGH'd, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Well, you're
Uh,
not really
sure.
in arena. You're not really worried about
Yeah,
BGH. You know, that rarely
Arena
happens.
pretty good. And you
I don't
could
know
you.
about constructed for this guy.
I'm not sure if the 1/1 Scarabs will work with Hobgoblin.
No, it doesn't.
no, 'cause
They probably won't. Yeah, they
Yeah, you
won't.
need to be played. Yeah, you need to be played from the hand.
Yeah, they won't. Yeah, but yeah. Other than that, I think it's an okay card. Very good for arena. People have needed that for a while.
That's an arena. It's insane arena. A
Yeah.
7/7 with a taunt.
Yeah, but a ton.
And
Sure.
and it's and the fact that the taunt's not on the 7/7 is the most OP thing. It's on another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And,
this thing can trade with a North Sea Kraken, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yes.
North Sea Kraken can't actually kill it when it comes onto the board. The North Sea Kraken has to keep hitting those 1/1 tokens. It can't actually
Yeah.
kill the Obsidian Destroyer. Emo's saying it's a bad card. I don't agree with that one, Emo. I can't agree
In
with
standard,
that.
yeah, it's probably bad because it's really slow and it costs
Yeah.
a lot, and you'd rather
Yeah.
play Boom every time. But in arena, like, okay, so Warrior has been like dubbed the worst class in
Yes,
arena
yeah, it's the
over and
worst
over and
class.
over again. This
Uh-huh.
is one of those cards that's gonna just like push it out there. Like, this is a really good card in arena. Like,
And it's a common card,
I
so it
already
will
played
happen.
War Golem. This
Common card will happen a
is-
lot.
Mhm.
Yeah, this card is sick.
Insane.
So we've probably given this thing enough jizz. I think we should. We've probably overhyped it a little bit because it's not good in constructed very much right now.
it's not- yeah,
There's
it's
better
not-
things to play in constructed than that.
Yeah, I like
Um,
playing Warrior in arena. Like, this is just one of those cards that makes me, excited.
for a
about
reason.
Yeah, as arena warriors, they're gonna love this. As constructed warriors, it's not as easy to fit in. It might fit. Someone needs to come up with a deck for it.
Well, that Warzone nerf hurt any chances of Warrior doing good in arena, like being able to combo off with like Haunted Creepers and burst damage out there.
All right, how about Fierce
The
Monkey?
Monkey.
3/4 taunt for 3. I love this card.
I love this card. It's such a strong 3-draw. Holy crap.
This
Yeah,
Yeah.
is essentially what I was talking about earlier with what class was it? I forgot which class it was, but it was the
The
3/4 that we were talking about. But they had it for 4. This is for 3, and
Mhm.
it's got taunt. It's a well-rounded card. Like it's perfectly balanced to being a class card because it needs to be a little bit stronger than like the mech. But yeah, at the same time, I think it's very well-rounded, and it could be the 3-drop that Warrior's been looking for. Warrior usually a lot of the time is past, unless they're playing Acolyte, they go from weapon to armor up to weapon. This is something they can play.
Yeah.
it's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I mean, it also like it works with Bolster. Like Bolster makes this card actually kill Belcher and
Mhm.
still live There's a
Yep.
1-2 as well.
Yep.
Ooh.
Ulster's pretty good with this.
Ooh. And we're also thinking of a Dragon Warrior list, and
Oh yeah.
yeah. So Dragon Warrior list, I think it's more focused on tempo than rather than control. I think this is the card it needs too, and you can even make like a taunt Dragon Warrior deck with bolster too, with the Twilight Guardians, Chill Maul, and then you don't even need to play the Corruptor. You can just play Belcher, and it'd be just as good. So
Yeah, you can taunt for days with this
taunt
shit.
for days.
Imo says the weapon should have been a banana. Kappa. Definitely. It shouldn't have been a blade. It should have been a banana. Definitely. I agree. So yeah, I think that's probably going to round it up for the class cards. Bash versus Monkey. I'd probably take the Monkey over the Bash because it's the same cost, but it deals with 2 creatures rather than 1. The Monkey's just better.
And it's a taunt. Taunt.
I think the Monkey's better. It gives you more shit.
The monkey will gain you more than
it
3
looks
armor.
better. It looks better.
Yeah, and it's a monkey. How can you say no to a monkey?
Yeah. How can you say no to monkey? I want to play monkey in my warrior deck.
He has a shield and a knife.
Is there any other monkey cards? Like no, right?
No, not really. Not really at all.
So this is like the only monkey card, man. Oh my god.
Okay, so neutral commons. Let's move on to them. So I've split these up onto a few pages, guys, because there's quite a few. So we'll start off with these 4. We've got the Fossilized Devil Saw. 8/8 creature. Battle cry, if you control a beast, gain taunt.
Oh shoot! Something we should have actually mentioned about that monkey. He's also a beast, so he can come out of web spinner.
Oh, yep, the
And,
monkey can also come
Ramblingler.
out of web spinner. Yes, we'll quickly go back to that one for the warrior. This monkey is a beast, can come out of Ram Wrangler and everything as well. So he's a buffer hunter as well.
Not really relevant for warrior,
Yeah.
but other classes did it.
Yeah, but he's a monster.
But yeah,
Alright.
like the new neutral card.
Yeah.
At 8/8.
Let's go back to the neutral cards. Yeah, 8/8. 8/8 for 8. If you give a beast, gain taunt. What do you think, Durable?
In arena,
Yeah.
I love it. Like more taunt.
Yeah.
I love taunt in arena. Like it's so hard for other classes to get past. Yeah, it's a card. Like I mean, I play War Golem if I have to, in drafts. Like War Golem's not bad, Ogre's not bad, an 8/8 for 8's not bad. Now give me an 8/8 with taunt, and I'll be like, yeah, you just can't kill me anymore, dude. Like you just win the games. Like I've lost to Druid so many times that go 8/8 taunt into a second 8/8 taunt, and I just have no more removal or ways to get past it. And this is one of those cards that just shuts down your opponent every time. Like if you could get a taunt off on this minion, you're just gonna win immediately every time.
All right. So what are your thoughts about that in constructed? Then you've just sort of said how good it is in arena. What about constructed?
It's bad, but
Yeah, this guy's pretty bad.
Bad in constructed. I'm pretty much with you. No one runs the 8/8 taunt in Druid for that exact reason. It's BGHable. It fucking dies to Black Knight. Like.
I guess in a way it can synergize with the monkey.
You can synergize with
Yeah,
yeah.
make it a taunt warrior deck, right?
I think they thought about every time they pick up these cards, like,
Oh man.
Warrior play this? Yes, it would.
Yes, Warrior could possibly play that card. Okay.
Warrior baby.
So yeah, Fossilized Devil Saw, not overly great, decent for arena, not that great for constructed. But yeah, I think we'll see some play. Not a great lot of play. Probably about the same amount of play as North Sea Kraken. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Wait, North.
Actually, probably more. No, North Sea's better than this. North Sea's better. North Sea would be a tier above this. Yeah, no, I won't even see that much play.
North Sea is like 110% on the arena.
Let's probably see as much play as Spider as Force Tank Max, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably see it. Probably has about as much as that.
Yeah.
It's actually gonna kill the force tank
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
North Sea Kraken is great. Yeah, it is. Gorilla Bot A3. If you control another mech, discover a mech. So this is a 4 mana 3/4. So a 4 mana cost mini Yeti. It's discover a mech, right? What do you guys think?
I actually like this card for multiple reasons. When you have a mech warper in play, I mean, yeah, this is not a shredder, but this card, when you have no cards, allows you to get another mech.
Yes.
So you get to flood the board on the same turn that you get to play this card. So you could play this card and then play a shredder that you got off of this card.
Yeah.
Makes it insanely powerful. It's another way, like, because mech just wants to flood out the board every turn, and after the first few turns, it's done. Can you get a boombot, it is a mech.
Yeah, technically you
but yeah, like,
probably could. You'd have to discover it though. Like you have to pick it out of the 3. So 1 in 3
I don't
chance
know if
get
you
a
actually want
boombot.
to take that. Yeah, but yeah, I feel like this card is incredibly powerful
Yeah.
in mech decks. Being able to flood like this card is basically 2 mechs, not just 1. It's 2 mechs.
Yeah.
And mech wants more cards to play.
Yeah. Let's say in the late game, like you ran out of cards, right? You can play this card. You can potentially get like a late game mech card too, like Full Reaver 4000.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
yeah. So it can actually save you late game. So that's pretty good.
So
'Cause we all
Herb
know that-
says.
yeah.
So Herb saying discovery is a control mechanic. Mechs generally aren't control. I don't know if I completely agree with that. I know it's better for control, definitely, like you can because it like helps
Yeah.
you make better choices. But at the
Yeah.
same time, there are a lot of aggressive and tempo-based decks that they run out of cards pretty quickly. So this actually
Mhm.
will help
It's
you
like
stay in the game longer.
Yeah. Just think of it as a card draw. Yeah.
It's essentially card
Yeah.
draw, yeah.
Yeah, like a Zerd Drake. Yeah. Think of it like a Zerd Drake. Like Tempo Mage runs a Zerd Drake too, right? So
Yeah.
that card draw is always valuable to you.
Well, even mech mage runs is straight because they just
Yeah.
need more cards to just continue
Yeah.
into the game.
Yeah,
This card does that.
Mhm. They run out of steam too easily, so I think this card is pretty strong.
We'll see. We'll see what they put in for it. See how it goes. I think it's worth subbing into a few mech mages, giving it a try. Maybe mech shaman. Mech shaman needs a
I'm
Yeti
definitely
style
gonna
thing.
try it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this might be pretty good. It's definitely good for arena though. It's definitely got good stats for that.
That's
Jeweled Scarab. Battle Cry. Discover a 3-cost card. 2 mana cost 1/1. We've seen 2 mana cost 1/1s before, as in the novice engineer that doesn't see play because you may
Yeah.
as well play like
Like a loot hoarder.
a loot hoarder instead.
Yeah.
But this is giving you a 3-cost card. So if you play this, so this is essentially a 1/1 and a
Like it's
3-drop for
open
5. What do you guys
Yeah.
think? What's
Right.
the value?
Okay,
Is there value here?
like in arena, this card's cool. It's awesome.
Mhm.
It does things. It allows you. It's basically a card filler. But I keep saying this over and over again. Like this set has been really big on this. It's the beast. So it's another card for hunters randomly just game.
Nerf.
Yes.
Yeah. I think this card is not that good. Just because would you prefer to draw a card from your deck, or would you rather get a 3-drop, right?
Yeah.
Like yeah, just
I
as
think
simple
it's
as
the
that.
same thing in the end.
Yeah.
Like, because you just always want to play something early in arena. Like,
Yeah.
even if it's bad,
Yeah.
like abusive sergeant with this card, I think it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Like, it gives you more value.
Linus, he says, would have been awesome if it was a random 3 cost from your deck to curve out if your starting hand was bad. Imagine
Yeah.
a guaranteed animal companion from mid-range hunter, or guaranteed unleash the hounds or something like that. I'm kind of with Sir Herp on this one as well, saying it's a crap 2-drop for a guaranteed 3-drop. I think if it was
Yeah.
like a 2/2, potentially I'd play it, but I
Yeah.
think that this is underwhelming as a
Yeah.
card. Unless you're like guaranteed to
Well-
get something good.
I mean, you've always get those really awkward choices in arena, and I think this is going to make those choices a little bit less awkward. Like, I would not. I feel bad taking this card over a Delaron mage every time. So.
That's true. That's true.
True. Yep.
Yeah.
It does, and in arena you generally are hanging a lot of mana in the late game as well. Like you could actually do some things.
Mhm.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah, you finally someone
Yeah.
smart discussing cards.
Oh, I completely forgot. You know what this card's playable with? Hobgoblin. And you know what else it could also discover? It can discover Hobgoblin.
It could discover
Oh,
another
it
Hobgoblin.
can. That's interesting. Yeah, it can. It actually can.
Hobgoblin Jeweled Scarab deck.
Yeah.
Jack guys, new meta.
That's true. That's true. Tomb Spider.
Alright, the next card we're going to look at here is the Tomb Spider. Battle Cry is Discover a Beast. It is a 4-cost 3/3. There's a lot of beast synergy in this expansion. What's going on, Blizzard? You're trying to shove beasts down our throat.
No.
They want Beast Druid to be a...
They do.
No. They want to make Hemet for viable, man.
Oh, yeah.
Hemet's becoming more and more viable as we go.
Yeah, Hemet's got to destroy all these cards.
I think
what,
this card's
what do you guys
fun.
think?
It could discover itself. It could discover itself. That seems cool.
It could discover itself, yeah. It's a
Wait,
little
no, it
weird.
can't discover itself. Sorry.
No, it couldn't because it's in your deck. It's in your deck, so it can't discover itself.
So all the current beasts that just came out is what it can discover. So it can discover the Druid Beast,
Yeah.
the Hunter Beast. Wait, isn't there 2 Hunter Beasts? It could discover that Jeweled Scared right next to it. What else can it discover?
It's
Him
true
at
the
Canada
snake-
Fierce Monkey PogChamp.
Counter to me.
Sad face.
Yeah, probably worse than Gnomish Inventor. For that cost, yeah, probably. If it was 3 mana, I think it'd be OP. But I think 4 mana. I think this card I would value it probably as a 3.5. So playing it on 4 is a little shit. But yeah, I would definitely value this probably as a 3.5 instead of a 4.
Unless the beast you can play on turn 5 is pretty good, but
Yeah, the beast could be good. You can get King Crush.
you can get King Crush.
Yeah, you can get King Crush off this. You can get. There's many beasts that can actually have a decent swing on the game.
Wait, is
No,
Druid
it looks like it can.
you know Druid the Fang? Is it a beast?
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, you
put it
can-
on
Wait,
turn-
no. Druid of the Fang is not a beast.
Oh no, but the snake itself.
The
is a
snake
beast.
itself is, yeah.
Okay.
When it transforms, yeah.
And it's the same with Druid of the Claw. It's also not a beast.
Oh,
So
crap,
Yeah,
but
but
you can't
yeah.
get
dreams
Druid
of
the Fang.
Druid cards.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hunter will always be able to play Druid cards, but Druids will never be able to play Hunter
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah.
Sad face.
I guess this card, if you get like a Druid card for like any other class, it'd be pretty strong.
Like,
so.
this could also get a high main, right? If you were playing
Yes.
Hunter.
True.
But yeah,
true.
but
that's
but another class can't get the high main.
True. Yeah.
Say slightly above average, I'd like it in a Hunter draft. Yeah, for Arena, I'd like it in a Hunter draft. For other classes, I don't know where I'd really use this. Just remember, you can't get the class cards of other classes, so Hunter does get the most bonus out of this expansion for some unknown bloody reason.
Well, is that how Discovery works? Like, you can't get neutral cards. You can't.
You can
class
get
cards out of the thing?
you can get neutral cards. I'm pretty sure any neutral card and your own card out of
But
your class.
so the class cards are only.
Yeah, but I don't think you can get the hunter class cards. But I know the spells aren't, but I'm not sure about the creatures. So you may be able to. Maybe.
Yeah, I'd be
Maybe.
really disappointed if like I get this as a mage and then I can't like get a hunter like high main or something out of it.
We'll see. We'll see how this goes. It's a little bit vague how Blizzard has explained it. But yeah, hopefully,
That's true.
hopefully you can. If you can, that'd be great. Okay, I think we move on to the next set of creatures. That's pretty much all the battle cries for the neutral
Hopefully the
comments.
last beast of the set as well.
Yeah.
So many times
It's
I
not.
can say you can get that out of web spinner. Oh wait, there's another one. Yay.
Okay, so this page we've got Death Rattles and the Murloc Tiny Fin. So let's cover the Death Rattles first. Anubiseth Sentinel. Why can't it work like Spellslinger? I don't know. Germontov.
I hate
It just makes me sad.
Yeah.
You hate this card.
Yes,
Anubiseth
it is.
Sentinel.
Like it's so bad.
What?
Like you're paying 5 for a 4/4 that may not even give you a bonus. Like Death Rattle is very bad when your opponent actually control the Death Rattle
Yeah.
ability.
Yeah. I think it's too heavy as a 5-drop, especially when it's 4/4. Like 5-drop
Yeah.
4/4s are usually weird, and it doesn't give you the effect instantly. Like a Zero Drake is good because you get the card draw almost instantly, so it doesn't matter if you destroy it. And if you leave it on the board, you get that one spell damage that can potentially help you throughout the whole game. But this card, the effect is not guaranteed because your opponent can actually control it, so it's actually not that good in my opinion.
All right, now
think it
I'm going to throw one more thing at you. As someone that has done the math on Shredder and knows
Okay.
like the percentages on what can drop out of a Shredder, right?
Yeah.
This card is not good at all. Because a Shredder is a 4/3,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That can drop, in most cases, a 2/3 or 3/2 out of it.
Uh-huh.
I would 100% of the time take a 4-drop that does that over a 5-drop that does that. Yeah, and trades with Shredder as well. It sucks. This
Delta
card
does
sucks,
the
guys.
filter
It,
check.
as in Arena, sure. All right, sure. In Arena, good card. Right, pretty good card. Constructed, I would rather shit in my own face. Like, I would not
Yeah.
play this card.
Yeah. I
Sad.
guess like if you really want to play this constructed, I can see this card being like a budget card for Zoo. Because Zoo
Maybe.
can actually flood the board. Yeah, maybe, but it can actually flood the board quite well, right? And they have a lot of sticky creatures at the same time. Like
Yeah.
Zoo is the only place I can see this card going into as a budget card. Like let's say you don't have Doom guard, maybe you would want to run this. Actually, not really. I'd rather run another
I
card.
still wouldn't
but-
play it.
Yeah, I
There's-
still wouldn't play it.
there's so
Actually,
many
yeah, never mind. I actually still
play.
wouldn't play it. I lied.
Yeah.
I actually wouldn't play it.
Fernwog is saying that his Dark Cultist sometimes dies without giving an effect all the time. Right?
Yeah.
Dark Cultist is a 3 mana cost card that's a 3/4. This is 5 and it's a 4/4. If you can see the mana cost difference, it's already 2 mana cost extra than a Dark Cultist, and it's not even as good. That's yeah. Yeah. So Herp is correct. Mediocre even in Arena. Cultist has awesome stats. This doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this card is very good. Yeah, the fact that Shredder exists ruins a lot of these cards. If Shredder didn't exist, then a lot more of these cards would see play. There's just some cards that are just so damn strong. Their power level is so high, and they'll never get nerfed.
Yeah.
That like you just can't play
it's
some of
always
these
gonna be
other
like that,
some of these other things. Sentinel had to be a mech at least. I think if it was a mech, it probably would have got more play. Maybe.
Yeah, if it was a mech, yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
Huge Toad. 3/2 Beast for 2. Same stat line as most of the other things, so it plays pretty well. Death Rattle. Deal 1 damage to a random enemy. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Do you think this is kind of like Flame Juggler, just more aggressive?
Okay, so
Yeah.
several things going on with this card. It's a beast, has the same effect as Flame Juggler, but only when it dies. But this card could actually trade it to Flame Juggler and still kill off the 1-drop since it came out. So in Arena, like you can actually do more with this card. This, I actually think it'd be a fine Face Hunter card as well. Like when you're
Yeah,
not
I
going
can see
face
that.
and it dies, it still does 1 more damage. You're always
Yeah.
just trying to inch your way every single time. But yeah, it is
Yeah.
kind of weak in the same category. But it's another beast. It can do cool things. It can come out of Web Spinner. It like maybe it's a card that's actually nerfing Web Spinner in a way, or Ram Wrangler as well.
Yeah.
It's still it's a beast. I mean, you can't.
It
say
is a
more
beast.
than
It's
that.
not a Murloc. It's a beast.
It does things.
Yeah. And you wouldn't really want to silence this card either, too. So the Death Rattle is like almost guaranteed to get off, too. Yeah. So this card is actually pretty good. I also thought this card was actually a Murloc card. Because it's a toad. It tricked me so hard. It almost looks like the tiny fin right beside it. I was like, why is it not a Murloc card? I was like,
It's not a Murloc. It goes with the beasts.
what the
So-
heck is a Murloc card?
They do things.
I think it's kind of cool. It's playable. It's not bad. It's not one of those horrible cards that it could have been.
Yeah.
Power creep on Raptor. Everything's a
Yeah,
power
power
creep
creep
on
on
Raptor because it is the beast. The only thing that Raptor had for it was the fact that it was a
It
beast.
was a beast.
Yeah.
No,
Now
that's
this
out
is
the
just
window.
this is literally just like purely better Raptor. Unless they bring out like Raptor class or something. Murloc Tiny Fin. 0 mana cost 1/1
card-
Murloc. This is power creep on Wisp, guys.
This is 100% better than any other zero cost creature.
Yeah.
This is actually better than a lot of 1-drop creatures. This card is nuts. Like, come on, like everything is fine, awesome. Like
Yeah, everything for the Shaman deck that you can play this with that buff is huge.
Right.
Lunacy
yeah, it
says
is a nerf to
Yeah,
Murloc Knight.
Lunacy saying it's nerfed to Murloc Knight, PogChamp. I
true.
agree. It's pretty
Yeah, I
good.
agree.
It's pretty good nerf.
Yeah, it's a pretty good nerf.
They did need a
This card-
nerf.
okay. There's so many Murloc cards that work together to either pump each other or pump other creatures. I mean, the 1-drop gets +1 attack for each Murloc you play. Ward Leader, this card becomes a 3/3. You could play the other one that gives +2 defense, like a 1/3. That's not bad.
Yeah.
And then you have everything is awesome, and you can make this guy into a 2 from a 1/1 into a 3/3 for free. Also, it downgrades the cost of that card for 0. So
Yes.
Impressive.
Bloodborne.
Wisp plays around
Yeah,
Hungry Crab actually.
Yeah,
Hungry Crab.
Hungry Crab.
Okay, yeah, sorry guys. Wisp is stronger against the Hungry Crab meta.
Yeah.
No, you can actually play Hungry Crab with this card too.
Yeah, you can play Hungry
Yeah.
Crabs. You eat the Murloc Tiny Fin.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
actually
and-
do that.
And also another card for Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
It is indeed. So there are some plays you can do with this. Definitely has to be put into a deck that is surrounded by the reasoning for playing it. Like you can't just play a Murloc in for no
Best
reason.
zero cost minion out
It
there.
it is the best zero cost minion out there. Like there's not many to choose from. Like this is one of the best ones. Got a Craft Hungry Crab BRB. Yeah, so do I actually. I've been playing for like 2.5 years. I still only have 1 crab. I don't have 2.
I just can't wait to see this guy start attacking people for like 5+ damage. a
Oh,
turn.
same.
Your brother's like, but it's a zero cost minion. Why is it getting so much value? Wisp was never this good.
Let's move on to the res. What do we got? It's so cute that you wouldn't want to kill it. Correct. No one wants to
Yeah.
kill the tiny fin.
It's so cute. You also want to play it.
It's also a buff to female gamers.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got all the rare cards here from this adventure. First off, we have a 4 mana cost 7/4 Ancient Shade. Battlecry is shuffle an Ancient Curse into your deck that deals 7 damage to you when drawn. I don't really like this card. What do you guys think?
This is a worse version of Salty Dog. Like,
yeah, it's a worse Salty Dog. How do you even get worse than a Salty Dog?
Yeah,
like,
Reyna.
Oh, goodness me. Goodness me. Fuck.
Power creep on Reynad.
Yeah. So the Salty Dog. Whisper's never good. You've clearly never played Token Druid or Dark Whisper. Oh, I don't know about that. They aren't very good decks anyway. They're gimmick decks. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
So overpowered in suicide decks. How is this even rare? So Herb, that's correct. How is it rare? It's the fact that it has a battle cry on it that's apparently cool. That's why they make them rare.
Yeah. I guess like they also it comes on a turn earlier than Salty Dog, but I still can't see the advantage of that. But
yeah, I can't see too much of the advantage of this card. It doesn't trade with any 4-drop correctly either. Like 4-drops just kill it. If this was like a 7/6, then maybe yes. Yes.
If it had stealth, I think it would have
stealth
been
as well.
Card.
Oh
yeah,
stealth. Yeah, it'll make sense too. It's a shade too, man.
Yeah, the fact that it deals 7 damage to you, and it I don't know about this. Not an
Playable with
I don't know. It needs stealth to be good, in my opinion.
Yeah. And it dies to BGH as well. Like it's got so many things it dies to.
Yeah. And then you're just taking 7 damage for no reason. You wasted a turn 4 to deal yourself 7 damage for no reason.
Yeah.
I still think Salty Dog, even though it costs 1 more, is better just for the fact that it's a pirate and it has no negative value. Like, get the same stats. Maybe you get a +2 damage on something because of like Chip's Cannon or something.
Yeah.
So
this card just.
I just thought about it. You know the monkey statue that we're going to talk about later. That if you get that would actually get rid of the 7-cost curse out of your deck. So it would just be a 7/4 with no drawback.
That's true. But would you want to waste turn 4 playing this card though?
No.
Well, this card's so aggressive too, though. Like,
it's aggressive.
If you're going for the whole like idle into a bunch of legendaries, there's no way that you're going to be able to.
You're not playing this card.
You're either beating your opponent down really fast, or
this card's like
losing.
This card's negative value in Arena because like Arena you don't have as many heals either, and you're not very it's not very good. I wouldn't play Ancient Shade. I'd rather like bleach my ballsack. So let's move on to the next one. Eerie Statue. 4 mana, 7/7. Now this looks so much better than the Ancient Shade. It's like literally just better. Like the guy sitting right next to him is just better. Can't attack unless it's the only minion on the battlefield. That's its only drawback.
So easy to do.
I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, this drawback, there is no drawback. Finding Spinoza is correct here. It trades into War Golem. Yes, it does. For 4 mana versus 7 mana. This thing, you can actually get 2 of these down before Boom comes down as well, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
I can see...
Its only drawback is
I can see Coin Innovate into this. I can see that. That's gross. That's gross.
Why would you even play Fell Reaver now?
I have no idea. So you coin Innovate into this, then you buff it with Sun Fury, and then you silence it and go face. You're fine. You're fine. Ancient Watcher Druid Hive. Yeah, it's coming back.
Living Statue Druid.
Living Statue Druid? Alright, Living Statue Druid. Durabalicious has called it. Yeah, if anybody else tries to take that, it came from Durabalicious. Yeah. I like Eerie Statue. It does force a BGH. It's a turn 4 BGH target. Your boom just becomes more valuable. Your rags become more valuable.
That was its only downfall, is that it could be BGH. It's so good.
That's an insane card. It's huge.
It doesn't matter. You can even just taunt this up and it not attack, and it still saves you a lot of HP too.
If you get this in an arena draft, guys, if you don't take it, you should eat your own feet. Like,
yeah, I know. This guy's too good.
It's too good. Too much value. Too much.
Yeah, this actually counters out like things that handlocks are doing early on as well. Like, it answers. Okay, so like Drake, if they coin out Drake, this card just kills Drake every time.
Yeah, it's better than the Fel Reaver. as well for like an aggro druid. You'd play this over Fel Reaver, because usually when your Fel Reaver's down, you have nothing else on the board. You've traded everything off to play it. So yeah,
Downfall's not even that
yeah.
good either.
Yeah, and you have ways to silence it. So yeah, the druid will see a lot of play with this card if people build their deck around it. Other classes that might see some play with it would be rogue.
Rogue.
Rogue could get that out.
Rogue would love this.
Rogue would love this card.
Yeah. I was playing.
They have so
in
many
rogue decks,
spells.
too.
They don't even care. It's like
Yeah.
7/7's already hard enough to deal with, and then you just have all the removal to just keep this card attacking face. It's so good.
Freeze Mage could probably drop this as well. Echo Mage. Oh, it doesn't really work because they can't attack, but you can still use it to taunt. You could get two of them and taunt them. Yeah. Expect two BGH meta. Yeah, the double BGH meta will be coming. Yeah.
I think it was coming. It was like eventually gonna happen. Just so many cards like too powerful.
Yeah.
Like if they didn't think that the solo card, if it costs 8, it should have 8 power or something like that. The solo card, like I would totally pay 8 mana for a 3/3 that does a ridiculous effect on the board, like maybe triple rag effect or some retarded thing like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you have to nerf cards, just the fact that you have to make them BGHable because they cost 8 every single time.
Is Tinkmaster coming back? With shit like that coming down, Tinkmaster could definitely see some play.
Yeah.
The answers to the board.
Yeah, it could see play. It might not, but it could see play. You might see it in Paladin.
Hungry Dragon every time.
Yeah, you might actually see a Tinkmaster in Paladin or something, because it actually can turn your own guys into 5/5s, so it's pretty good.
Do you just see the chat about Hungry Dragon countering this guy?
Yeah, the only problem is like this card's so easy to play around that you just you suicide in your creatures that you have in play already. It's like you could attack in first and then play creatures.
Yeah.
It's like there is no drawback on this minion. Except that maybe you have a hard time killing your own minions. Like maybe the best answer for your opponent is to literally play no creatures so you can't suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has got endless possibilities. The more you think about it, the more you like the card. So people are going to see this in play. It will make it to some constructed decks. It'll definitely make Arena. Good card. What about creeper tokens and totems? There is a way, always board since Naxxramas, unfortunately. The Shade has no drawback besides dying to Shredder. Statue is terrible. I'm not sure what you mean with that. I really don't understand that one because it doesn't make too much sense, because this is better than Shade. Like Shade takes 5 turns or something to get to that same amount of power.
Yeah. Damn, you could even replace Shade with this guy.
Yeah,
so
you probably would. Summoning Stone. Whenever you cast a spell, summon a random minion of the same cost. This is 5 mana, 0/6. Whenever you cast a spell, you get something of the same cost. So you're basically removing and playing a minion at the same time. Usually that's something that that people need. Oh, you're talking about Ancient Shade. That's that. Now I understand, Spinoza. We were talking about Eerie Statue. That makes sense. Yeah. Sorry about that. I was retarded. I thought you were talking about Statue. The Summoning Stone. What do you guys think? I don't know.
I think it could be really fun, but I don't think it's a really of a standard card.
Unless you're playing some sort of token miracle token deck sort of thing. I don't know.
Even then, I think what you're trying to do with the deck is just play another Flame Wanker type card. You're just gonna play a bunch of cheap spells the same turn you're gonna play it? No, this card actually has to sit on the board the entire turn because of its cost, because it costs 5.
Yeah,
it makes it so hard.
Yeah, it's too expensive. It should be like a 2 cost or something. So Herb has hit it on the head there. This is equally as playable as a Lamo bot. I'm with you on that one. It's pretty.
Hey, you can actually get this out with Alarm Bot and then have infinite value that turn.
Just bring it out with
Maybe
Alarm
they're supposed
Bot.
to go to the same deck, right?
Maybe.
Weird control.
I think this is like an average card only.
Yeah,
it's too slow.
It's not good.
That it's playable.
Yeah, it's not. It's not playable. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, it's not playable.
What am I thinking?
Yeah, and it's silent. And you can silence it. If it's immune to silence, at least it might be okay, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's just a 0/6 that does nothing basically.
It's open to literally everything. And that makes it really.
It's not. It doesn't even have attack. Like if it had like 2 attack, maybe it'd be better.
How does it work with Imp? They would be lowered in cost.
Yeah, so if you played a 0 cost
had,
fireball, it'd be a 0 mana creature.
Oh,
You'd get a wisp.
That sucks.
Lotheb would make bigger creatures. Yeah, that
Mhm.
would it,
Yes,
it would be the
is an
cost.
awesome combo with this.
Yeah.
If you played this on turn 5 and then your opponent responded with Lothad, you're like, yes, finally my arcane missiles does 3 damage and give me a 6/6 cost minion.
The
It's
Lothep
like,
counter, man. Lothep counter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wobbling Runts.
I like this card.
I've looked at this card quite a bit. 6 mana, 2/6. Summon 3 2/2 Runts.
Uh-huh.
I think Geobalicious wants to take this one. He loved this card when we were
he
talking
loves
about
this
it.
card. Yeah.
Well, it's 8 power for 6 mana. Like, how is that bad? Like, in Arena, this card is insane. You just keep trading with all their aggressive little minions, and then
Uh-huh.
like sometimes you just trade it to their big creature, and then you get a bunch of little runs. The only thing that Druid tokens, like in Druid
Yeah.
token, except
Yeah.
that this
Yeah,
card's
yeah.
way too slow for Druid tokens.
Yeah, it's way too
Usually one
slow.
of Windows
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, it's very slow. Like
Yeah.
unless you like double innovated it out, it's too slow.
Yeah.
There's better things you could play for 6 for Druid.
I sort of don't like this card just because it can be Cabal.
Yeah, the fact that it can kick Cabal is
Yeah.
scary. It's
Yeah,
very
so-
scary.
It's so annoying if it can be Cabal. So yeah, I don't really like this card too much. Even if you're playing against an aggressive deck, you can sort of ignore this card because it's only a 2/6. But
Yeah,
I guess yeah.
yeah.
But like, there's endless power ups for this creature. I mean, you could give it taunts, you can
Yeah,
abuse
yeah,
and start
yeah.
clearing off the board more
Yeah.
aggressively.
Yeah.
I've always liked cards that just trade efficiently. Like, if you could kill off their entire board with one creature, then how's it bad? Like, it happens in Arena all the time. Like, the more value your card could get, the more likely you're gonna win.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be along the lines of I don't know how much constructed play this will see in current decks.
Oh, I probably see 0 constructed.
I
play.
can't
This
see
card-
much constructed play with
sick
this.
Arena card.
Yeah,
It's so much
It's a
value.
sick,
in
yeah,
Arena.
it's a very sick arena card. Yeah.
but you gotta compare
It's-
this sort of thing to Pit Fighter, which is a 5-drop. Like
Hey,
it's
Hey, this kills Pit Fighter and still leaves you with a 2/2 runt.
yeah,
Yeah.
I suppose it does. All right. So that's all there is for rares. I think we'll move on to epics. So we're starting to build up to the finale, guys. We're going to get some legendaries soon, and they are very exciting. So let's get on to these epics. So our first epic that we're going to discuss is the Genie of Zephyrs. It's a 5 mana cost 4/6, and whenever you cast a spell on another friendly minion, cast a copy of it on this one. So this
I
is looking good for paladins, right? And then a couple other classes like priest.
I think this card's insane in Priest. Yeah.
What do you
insane.
think, Herman?
Yeah, I think this card is pretty insane Priest, just because you can. They have so many buffs too, right? So, and this card, it's not bad for a 5-drop too. It's 4/6. It sticks on the board quite well.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
you
bad, not bad. 4/6
Yeah.
is quite good. I like the
Yeah,
stat
4/6.
line.
Yeah, the stat line is insane.
Yeah. Anything above 5 HP usually goes quite well in this game.
Yeah.
What do you think, Gerbil, about the Genie?
Not much to say. Like, yeah, you just keep playing cards that
Yeah.
you would have played anyway, and they just get more value.
I've seen in
I
chat
mean, we're
we've
giving
got
it to the
the
classes that already have this.
OTK
yeah.
Warrior Here I Come.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could get him down and then be buffing him while you're buffing Worgans, and yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like the chat said, like Divine Spirit and Inner Fire. Yeah, this card
Yeah.
can actually OTK quite well. So especially when it's just 6 health too, right? The 6 health is so healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. I think we'll see this in some constructed decks. It's not one of those unplayables. It definitely needs, again, a deck centered around it. Around using it as a power overwhelming. I don't know if that's good or bad. It seems like you'd end up killing your Genie for no
Yeah.
reason. But Cold Blood,
Well, if you're trying to,
Yeah, Cold Blood is not bad. Yeah.
Cold Blood's cool.
Yeah, Cold Blood's not bad.
but
Don't
then
know about
again,
bouncing
if
them,
the Genie also gets the power overwhelming, that becomes two massive things for a Void Terror, right? Like you are,
Oh, right.
you're getting a huge Void Terror.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had two Genies, that starts getting ridiculous.
Get a nice 2020
2020
Void
Genie,
Terror.
yeah.
Oh god.
It's all about burst
So,
though.
it's a ver-
Yeah, it's a pretty bursty card, but it could also be a very defensive card too. Like you can play defensive spells on it, as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
the burst potential is probably something that more people will look at than
The defensive
the
part.
defensive
Yeah.
potential. Yeah, like imagine you played this say with that priest card, the one that's whenever they attack you heal for 4. and you put that on 2 cards. You're healing for 8 each turn. You put it on Paladin for whenever you attack, you gain a card. You're getting 2 cards a turn. Like, it starts to add up a little bit. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like you could easily play sisters with her, like 'cause you just want, or with him, you want to play as many pump ups as possible, many effects as possible,
Oh man, the sister.
and like being able to deal 3 or so like either deal 3 to a bunch of things or get bubble shields and start attacking things down. A lot of fun, a lot of things to do.
Yeah.
Reincarnate Shaman with Death Rattle, also funny. Could be. You could definitely get some cool genie tricks off there.
Yeah.
Powered Shield will draw 2 cards. I'd actually probably agree. I think it probably will. Dwiz says no, but I think it probably will. Purely because it says cast a copy of it, not just cast the same buff. So I think it will cast it on both. Yeah. Naga Sea Witch. Your cards cost 5. Will Naga Sea play? Naga with Aviana. Okay, yeah. I think that this is a cheaper Aviana, honestly. I'll let
cards, not creatures.
Yeah, I'll let Durabalicious handle this one because he had some good ideas about this one.
Yeah, really
so
good
the first
ideas.
thing that I saw about this card is like, your opponent plays Lothad. Well, Sea Witch doesn't care about Lothad. It's just like, oh, well, fuck that guy. I'm gonna Flame Strike anyway. Or you could double Pyroblast, or like I'm just looking at it as mage perspective here. Like you just skip anything that Lothad says. Like all your costs are 5. You can play this card and a 10 cost card easily.
Yes.
Like there's like the cost restriction. Yeah, you're forced to only play 2 cards a turn, but you could play any 2 cards a turn, regardless of its cost. Yeah, it could cost 1 and you would have to pay 5 for it, or it could cost 10 and you still only pay 5 for it. So there is like it stops any restrictions that you would have combo decks with like Mana Wraith and the Nubrian that makes cards like Death Rattle, or not Death Rattle, but Battle Cry effects cost 2 more. This card just skips that, and you just always going to pay 5 no matter what, which is pretty cool.
Dwiz is asking in chat, how does it work with Aviana? Does this mean your minions cost 1 or 5? I would say that depends on play order.
Yeah, definitely
play order.
It would be play order, so if you play your Aviana first, this thing would cost 1 to play it, and then you play this, and everything now costs 5. If you played Aviana afterwards, then everything will cost 1. It'll definitely be play order, and if one of them gets killed, whichever remaining effect is the one that would like keep going. That would be how it would work. It would definitely play order.
Value. That was the first thing I was going to jump to when I was talking about it. It's like, well, you can play Deathwing. It was like, wait, why would you do that? But yeah, it's still cool effects that you could do.
Yeah,
I'm just more excited about being able to play a Ragnaros and
a Pyroblast.
Or like even just double Pyroblast.
Double Pyroblast, yeah.
Cool. Like new meta Sea Witch double Pyroblast games. Like,
yeah, you can do some interesting things with this card. Definitely being overlooked by a lot of people reviewing it actually. Naga plus Rag on turn 10, yeah. Yeah, there's some big combos, some big tempo plays with Naga. People are underrating it. As a card, I think it will see play. It'll just take a while before people realize they need to play it.
Yeah, if you're playing a cost minion with Naga in play, you have to pay 5 mana for that. But the fact that it says keyword card instead of just creature or spell means that so many possibilities open.
What is this, Gemontov? Okay, so you will get all 1-cost minions and 5 mana spells. Pretty good. No, that's not how it works. It'll like everything will cost 5. All your cards in your hand and whatever you're drawing will cost 5 while this is out. So if you have a very expensive deck, it all becomes cheaper. If you have a very cheap deck, everything becomes more expensive. So it's a balanced card.
Yeah, it could be a Druid Ramp card too.
It could be a Druid Ramp card. Yep.
Your it could be. For 5.
Yeah, it makes it easy for them to play. Yeah, they're 7 drops. Makes it easy to play Boom as well.
Ramp
you can play Boom on 6. Mysterious Challenger on 6. Oh wait,
or you point Naga out on turn 4 and then you play Boom on turn 5.
Yeah.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, coining Naga into Boom is ridiculous.
Why are we playing something so weak as Boom when you could literally play anything?
Yeah, you could play Deathwing. You could play Rag. Yeah, as long as you coin this out,
You can play Alexstrasza. You can play, anything. Like the world is open once you play her. On turn 10, she just says, okay, you play her and any other big creature you have.
If if you order Aviana and Naga correctly, you can manage 1-cost minions and 5 mana spells. Yeah, that is correct. That is correct, Jamonto, because Aviana does it only does do minions, not spells. So yeah, if you played Sea Witch first and then played Aviana, yeah, you've got 1-cost minions and 5-cost spells. Yep, pretty good.
Such crazy ordering.
Pretty crazy ordering.
Yeah.
Yeah, Naga with Pyros is best. Also Giants. Yeah, you can. That means you can actually play a Molten Giant for 5 when you're full HP, which is pretty good.
Finally, a way to play really expensive creatures for free. I just like it just for the fact that it's finally an answer to Lothad. Like your opponent plays Lothad,
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
I don't care. Flame strike you.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm most interested in. Yeah, countering low.
Emp discount work though. I would say it does not, like Emperor. If Emperor discounts your card, it's still going to cost 5 with that out. I can't see
Naga
that.
is
Yeah, I can't see that being very synergistic
continuous effect reduction.
with Emperor. Yeah, like I can't see it being very good. Unless you Emperored first and then went into Naga Sea Witch. Yeah, it still wouldn't work. Yeah, it just doesn't work with Emperor. We're going to start with the first legendary, which is Arc Thief Refarm. He did have that curse earlier in Warlock. This is from this same guy. But now he's here as a legendary. Arc Thief Refarm. Battle Cry. Discover a powerful artifact. Right? He's a 9-cost 7/8. People might think that's pretty overcost for a 7/8 that does nothing else. But that's the thing. It doesn't do nothing else. So his Discover of the artifact, you get to choose between one of these 3 cards. You get to choose between the Lantern of Power, which gives a minion +10/+10, a Timepiece of Horror, which randomly spits 10 damage between all enemies, which, if they have nothing on board, is essentially a Pyroblast to their face, and the Mirror of Doom, which can fill your board with 3/3 mummy zombies. Now, this card can also be comboed with that Sea Witch we just saw as well. If you have Sea Witch down, you can play Refarm for 5, and then you can play the Lantern or something on him for the other 5. So yeah, you can do some cool things with this card. What do you guys think about this first legendary?
I think this card is pretty insane. Like this card, like there's no really huge downfall because if you play this card in turn 9, right, you can select like 3 cards that can save you. Like if you need more power for pushing for lethal, you can get the Lantern of Power. If you want to save yourself from board clear, you can use Timepiece of Horror, Mirror of Doom just to gain board control. Like there's so much versatility, and you get to choose those cards too, right? So
yeah, you get to choose the card that you get. What do you think, Gerbil?
I mean, yeah. Mirror of Doom seems sick.
What would you play this card in?
I would still play a singer. If I were to play this?
Yeah.
Controller.
Well, I kind of like the fact that you do get an additional card in your hand, which makes me like lock and stuff. Being able to late game still play your big mountain giants and stuff, where like you've always had an issue. No, like what deck it fills in. Like I don't think there's like a standard deck for it. Like it's gonna be searching for a home for a while.
Yeah, I think it's gonna have to, it's its own deck again. Like I'm guessing that 10 damage will also be able to be comboed with spell power.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think the biggest effect that out of all 3 of those cards, I think the best one is definitely make the 3 zombie or make 7 zombies. Like that card.
Yeah, because even after they kill Refarm, you still get to put the 7 zombies the next turn. Like it's basically like Patron, but like you've just get all the things.
That's why I'm not sure where you're supposed to put it. Like it could literally fit in any deck doing that. I wouldn't be putting it in an aggro deck, but like any control style deck could take advantage of this.
It's more of a tempo card. And like one that, and like that's the good thing about it. It lets you pick what you want to happen. Like if you are losing, you can play Horror. If you are winning, you can play Land of Power. If you're sort of even, you can play Mirror of Doom and trade better.
To be honest, like I would compare this card to like Nefarian. Like you know how in Controller Warrior they play like Nefarian at times? Like this card can pretty much replace Nefarian, and since you get like a guaranteed spell that can potentially win you the game, I think this would be a lot better.
Yeah,
not that bad.
I think the thing that like is the biggest drawback is the fact that the spell is 10 mana.
Yeah, 10 mana.
The 10 mana spell is a bit of a killer. I think that's a bit of like a broken leg with this card. But I think it is such a big board swing that at the same time it seems a little bit fair. So I'd like to
Yeah.
see how this goes. If anyone in chat
I
has a
don't
good way of using it, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've covered Arc Thief enough. It's pretty standard.
Yeah.
Pretty sort of standard stuff. Let's move on to the next legendary one that I find pretty cool. Elise Starseeker, which is shuffle, which is a four mana cost 3/5. Okay stats, not great, but okay stats for a legendary. Shuffle the map of the Golden Monkey into your deck. So when you shuffle that into your deck, this is the Golden Monkey here, which actually says shuffle the Golden Monkey into your deck when you actually get this. So basically, you're putting in Elise Starseeker, right, into your deck. You have to draw the Golden Monkey after that. Once you draw this map, right, then that lets you draw a card and put this back in the deck to draw the Golden Monkey. So this is a 3-step process. Like, this is like a slow Exodia sort of effect.
A slow Exodia.
So you're taking a while to get to a point where you can win with legendaries. Cycle Warrior might be a thing. I think it's cool. It's kind of gimmicky, the fact that it replaces everything in your deck with legendary cards. All the legendary cards in your deck getting replaced. That to me says, oh shit, you've just lost all of your removal, all of your freezes, all of your everything. That's not a minion. You lose it. Oh,
Well, okay, let's be fair here. You're never gonna get this off in the early game where you actually have like 10, 20 cards left.
No,
you're not. You're not. But imagine you
Yeah,
did.
you're
That
not.
would suck.
You have to be some RNG god. And even
Yeah.
then, you have the option to actually play it. It's a
Yeah,
battle
yeah,
cry.
yeah. You don't have to play the Golden Monkey. Like, it is in your hand. You don't actually have to play it. But yeah, kind of cool. Dwiz loves it in Control Warrior. Always that useless brawl. Elise, gang up, Shadow Step, etc.
There's more than just that useless brawl. There's also like the second Acolyte Pain, Shield Locks, things that you don't like in the mirror match. You don't want to be drawing, and this card just like say, hey, I hear you like adding extra cards to your deck battles, and plus give you cards that are playable now.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Yeah.
Cool card. Definitely one that'll see some play. People are going to be fiddling with decks for this for a long time. People love legendaries. People love gold shit. If you get a gold Elite Starseeker, I'm guessing all of your legendaries will be golden as well. So you're going to have just golden legendaries galore.
Golden Monkey?
Yeah. Golden Monkey.
Monkey.
Yeah. This is going to be one for the ages. We'll see how it goes. There's going to be a lot of Trollden videos with this one.
Yeah. So many possibilities.
Yeah, so many possibilities, endless really. Unless you get like all the Sir Finley McGurgletons. every single one of your card turns into a 1-drop.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That's
yeah.
Trollden worthy, man. That's Trollden worthy.
So yeah, I'll let you guys stick to your sort of your imagination on what this card can come up with, because yeah, this is a leave it to your imagination sort of card.
I mean, it is pretty good stats for a 4-drop. It does actually kill Shredder. If it's on the sword.
Yeah.
That's basically the check with 4-drops, isn't it? If it can kill Shredder, it's a good card.
Next up would
That's
is
true.
like, can it kill Belcher? In
Yeah. Yeah, then that's like OP 4-drop, yeah.
Yeah, OP
This card trades with Belcher.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Alright. Next card then, boys. Here we go. Reno Jackson.
Ooh.
I think
6 mana, 4/6. Battle Cry. If your deck contains no more than one of any card, full heal your hero. We got some clarification on this before.
Yeah, we do.
We were asking some people if it's like what's left in your deck. For instance, like if you've only got like 3 cards left in your deck, does this work? It doesn't. You know, it matters in your entire deck when it begins. This is like a whole deck creature. So a 30 legendary deck might actually work. Correct, Dwiz?
Yeah.
What do you guys think, Hermes and Tim? What do you guys think about this?
I was actually very excited to put this in my or rogue deck, but just to know that it actually only counts for pre-made. I actually don't think I'm gonna put it in my Aura Rogue deck, because there's lots of staples you need for Aura Rogue to work, right? Like the double backstab and stuff like that.
No
You gotta have,
backstabs,
like,
no preps.
Yeah, like one backstab, one prep. I was like, how's that gonna work? Like crap, man. But yeah, I thought like this card would have been like the only hope for Aura Rogue to be very, very strong, like a tier 1 deck if it is from the leftover deck, but unfortunately it's not. But I think Durbo really loved this card. He had a lot of ideas for this card.
Yeah, like for a grinder style mage,
Yeah.
that you just like play one of every, like you already want to play like a lot of sick legendary cards, and all you have to do is just kind of nerf your early game, which is kind of being replaced with other cards now. Now that we have Torch, like Torch
Yep.
could replace a Frostbolt and a Fireball, so it's not all that bad.
Yeah, there will be a
You
mage
only
deck
run,
with
like-
this. 100%,
Yeah.
there'll be a mage deck with this in it.
Yeah, I can see Mage.
I mean, like other things, it's like, oh, okay, I guess you're not running 2 Flame Strikes or 2 Blizzards. Like in exchange, you could run 1 and 1, and then like an Exploding Sheep or Baron. It's like you have so many options. It's not even funny. Like I've already been thinking about. It's like, well, there's gonna be a lot of cards that I'm just playing one ofs anyway. Like, okay, so this card is just a full gain, your entire health points back. Okay, like that's not really like playing one ofs aren't really a bad drawback. Like you could still echo Medivh, and you could still use scientists to search out for secrets. You can still duplicate as well. Like imagine duplicating this card. Like you just can't die ever anymore, can you?
No, you can't. It's very good because when you duplicate it or when you get it put back into your deck, that doesn't count as changing your deck. So
It's very gimmicky.
yeah, it's
but
a gimmicky card. Imo thinks it's bad. It depends what deck you're playing it in, Imo. It really does.
Yeah.
Like you've got to think about it. The longer that this game goes on for, the more viable this card will become. Because you'll start to get from each expansion a card that you desperately want to run, but you've already got 2 of these other awesome cards for that mana cost, so you end up dropping one to have a one of. And like there will be a couple of decks, it'll end up becoming 30 one-offs, right?
Yeah. I guess like for this deck, like for this card, it does create some inconsistencies, but for like late game decks like Fatigues, I guess it's pretty viable because you're running a lot of one-offs like legendaries and stuff like that, so it's not really a big deal.
Yeah, this could see play again. Deck needs to be built around it. It can't just be included in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Most decks are just completely fail-fish with this. Like it's a fail-fish legendary unless it's built for it.
Yeah. If this card was leftover, like if it's the leftover deck, then this can fit in almost any deck.
That this is not on your deck. This is on what's left, which is what I originally thought. So I'm glad that's come back. So yeah, you can either play one of everything with your decks, or you can basically hack Deck Tracker. Because basically if you're sitting there and you know that you only have one of each thing left in your deck, then wham bam, thank you ma'am, you're back on full health. And it's only healing yourself as well, not your opponent, so that's insane. This card now just became better entirely.
Makes scientists fucking nuts, man.
Yeah, Scientist, that's a buff to Scientist as well, because it pulls cards out of your deck, and this guy just uses them.
Summary, the card is good.
So yeah,
And
summary, it's good and bad. It's good. I like this card. It became much better after that news.
I'm
It's a
going
very,
to put
very
in Aura
late
Rogue
game
now.
card.
I'll put in Aura Rogue now.
Yeah, it's definitely going oil work now. Sir Finley Murgleton. I like this guy because he has a sick name and he has a little cheesy smile. So Sir Finley Murgleton, 1 mana, 1/3, great stats. Great stats for a 1 mana cost card,
Yeah,
right?
great
Stats. We love him.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the strongest Murlocs. Look at those muscles.
Yeah, look at that.
He's ripped. He's fucking ripped. He's like Crocodile Dundee as a Murloc. So, and that is definitely a knife. So
That is definitely a knife.
his battle cry is discover a new basic hero power, right? That means that you're going to get presented with an option of choosing one of 3 hero powers. So if you're playing something that has a shitty hero power, cough cough rogue, and and something like shaman or something else, like sometimes they can be good, those hero powers, but at the same time some of them can be really shit. You can pick another hero power. Imagine you're playing potentially aggro shaman, for instance. You could change your hero power to the hunter hero power. You're instantly way stronger.
That's why Murloc Shaman might actually happen.
Murloc Shaman may happen purely for this. I see this being a pretty cool card. I don't know which decks will go into the most, because some classes you don't want to change your hero power, obviously. But yeah, some decks will like this. I see him being pretty cool.
I see it being pretty cool at Murloc Shaman.
It's got
Don't forget-
viability.
It's another
don't forget this-
Hobgoblin card.
Yeah, Hobgoblin. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Hobgoblin.
Yeah, another Hobgoblin card. Yeah.
Hobgoblin card. It can also synergize with Poison Blades.
Yes, so yeah, Poison Blades. That's the blade that you equip, but whenever you hero power, it does not replace the weapon, it just gains attack.
Yeah.
So you can actually be using the Warlock hero power or the Warrior hero power while buffing your rogue weapon. Now that is strong.
Yeah, double value.
Yeah.
Not bad,
Life
no.
tap Paladin, Immo is scared. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. But yeah, there's a lot of possibilities with this card.
I think, yeah, that's probably all we need to talk about with Sir Finley, correct? Is that all we need? Like, we've probably covered everything about Sir Finley.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's move on to the last legendary of the set. My favorite. I think most people will find this as their favorite as well. This guy does not
It's
blow
a beast.
goats. This guy does
Yeah.
not blow goats like the rest of the cards. He's very good.
Yeah. This is the only card that you would want. Like, you would want to buy this expansion because of this one card.
Alright, here we go, guys. The last card. Here it comes. Legend Bran fucking Bronzebeard. This guy was one of my favorite characters in World of Warcraft. He's made his way into Hearthstone finally. Here we go. Your battle cries trigger twice. He's a 3-mana 2/4 card. Great body, great cost, great stats. Your battle cries trigger twice. I couldn't think of anything cooler. Battle cries are usually more effective than death rattles as well. That's why we've got the Baron Rivendare here. It's basic. Baron Rivendare has been in the game for a while, where your minions trigger their death rattle twice. I honestly like the fact that this is battle cries over death rattles. They have an immediate impact on the board. You control them. Your opponent doesn't control them. So we'll go through all these one at a time. Hermes, you want to explain what Dr. Boom does with this card?
Okay, so with Dr. Boom, right? So if you're gonna play like Bran Bronzebeard and with Dr. Boom, you're pretty much gonna get 4 boom bots. That's pretty insane. That's almost like a board clear as well. So it's pretty threatening. Yeah, you're definitely gonna swing the board in your favor with like just boom, 4 boom bots. So it's pretty sick.
Yeah, definitely great.
Yeah.
I think yeah, this is the sort of thing that you're going to see a lot of. Bran Bronzebeard has immense synergies with so many cards in the game. We put Twilight Drake on here just as to explain how utterly broken some cards can go with this. Also, by the way, Immo, we decided not to put any class cards on here, not to be biased. We put these all as neutral cards with the battle cries, just so that people could get the idea of it, because you could obviously do the same thing as this Twilight Drake with the Priest's Twilight Whelp. But what we've done here is the Twilight Drake gain +1 health for each card in your hand. If you are gaining +1 health for each card in your hand and you have a full hand, that already becomes a 410. If you play this with Bran's Bronzebeard, it becomes a 420.
Insane.
420 on turn 4. If there's no silence or removal, that thing wins you the game. Cold Light Oracle. Each player draws 2 cards.
Oh man, yeah, I'm really excited for this one card with Bran Bronzebeard because of Mill Rogue. It's insane. You're drawing like you have more potential to win with Mill Rogue just because of Bran Bronzebeard, and it might even be viable in the meta too.
So Cold Light draws 4 cards for both characters. Abusive Sergeant. Battle Cry, give a minion +2 attack this turn. With Bran Bronzebeard, that's 4 attack on anything. The reason we picked this particular card is because it's used in a lot of aggressive decks. We could have done the same thing with Dark Iron Dwarf, right? But we chose this because we wanted to show the abuse that you could do with Bran Bronzebeard, and he is definitely an abusive sergeant in that case.
If you do want to compare it to class cards, you can even compare it to like Shrinkmeister. We can reduce it to 4.
You can reduce
That's
4 cost, 4 attack on a creature, so you can steal things that are like a Sylvanas. You can Cabal Shadow Priest.
I think that was the problem. The reason why we didn't do class cards is you could literally go to every single class and say 20 different cards. So
Yeah.
it's way too wide. when you could just show cards that do the same effects or similar effects. They're pretty awesome.
Antique Healbot, Battle Cry, restore 16 health to yourself, right? 16 health, that's literally more than half of your health, and that's crazy. Like that helps a lot of control decks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very abusive. Yeah, you can be very abusive in fatigue decks with this card.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
One of the funniest things that we've liked about this card is the fact that you could play Injured Blade Master or Injured Cavaldir or Injured anything, and it just one-shots itself. Because it will deal 8 damage to itself, it'll die. So if you want to play Suicide Priest or something like that, good idea. Good idea. And with the big game hunter, the final card here, a lot of people have been asking, can you hit 2 different 7/7s with the big game hunter? That is probably not how it's going to be working.
Yeah, that's not happening. It happens all at the same time into one creature.
So
you can't
basically, you play the creature and you shoot something, right? It shoots the same thing twice. Like it basically shoots air. So it's not that good.
Shoots
with big game. But you can think of things like Fire Elemental and things like that. It'll shoot something twice with the 3. That's the reason we put the Blade Master in here in the big game is to show that Brand's Bronzebeard, although it's good, it can be terrible with some cards. But yeah, it's very good. I think you guys should definitely look at combos with it. Lunacy has put a Theorycraft deck for Brand, so that's definitely worth having a look at. Baron is on this list for Dr. Boom. Now, Baron's on this list just to show the difference between Brand's Bronzebeard and Rivendare, basically. Thanks, guys, for watching. If you've enjoyed it, give me, Hermes, and Durablicious a follow on Twitter. And so you'll know when we're ever going live for things. If you want to find out more things like this or want to watch us later, we're all on Twitch as well. You're on my channel already. Hermes is /HermesL and Durablicious is /Durablicious, right? Yep. So if you guys want to do that, that's fine. Other than that, thanks for tuning in.
If you liked the review, definitely leave a comment, like, and subscribe. And stay gold, Herminators, and I'll see you guys next time on the next video.